This is Vinny, and this is the podcast number 3 of GHP. And with me is Cal. Hi, hello, Cal.
Hello, what's up?
And we also got Alan. How are you, man?
Hey, doing good. Thanks, Vinny.
How about Pow?
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Okay. So basically, we're actually going to start with news about the new era in Japan, which is actually called Reiwa. It's Reiwa time, bitch.
Rewa. it it sounds like a knockoff of an electronics brand.
In some way. So basically, Akihito, Emperor Akihito, steps down from his position and is now giving it over to his son Naruhito, which will probably be who's next? Boruhito, probably.
Nakihito naman, no?
So,
Tilap yan, natilap.
so basically, Naruhito, after being if his son does turn out to be Boruhito, he'll be known as Boruhito's dad.
Burrito's dead.
Okay, anyway,
No.
Reiwa actually means that culture is born and nourished as people's hearts are drawn beautifully together.
Wow.
In some strange way, it's cool Japan na lang. That's
Wow.
the easier
Ano
way.
yun, invento lang? Or did they put the meaning on the word? Or does it actually mean
That's
that
the
way?
actual
They-
meaning of it.
Yeah, they choose the kanji, right? And
Yep.
then from the kanji they derive, well, they sort of, I guess it's partly both. They derive the meaning from the kanji, and then
In some way.
tie it into some kind of theme.
Actually,
it's not like
there's a certain board that actually decides that the Gengo, I think that's what they call it, or the era name. They actually chose from five variations. The first one is actually Eiko, vast glory, or it also means wide flower. So it doesn't sound good. So there's actually another one, Banwa, great
Banwa.
peace or perfect harmony. Next one is Banho. It's like mabaho.
Ang banyo.
Sounds like banh mi. Sounds,
So
Speak me hungry.
that one means great security or complete safety. So yeah, it's safe in Japan, Banho, man. Yeah, and the last
Banho.
one is Koshi, which means the best destination. And apparently, everyone went with Reiwa. Oh, it's just also pronounced Ryowa. So for some strange reason, Ryowa.
Gano'ng kalaki ang tourism as GDP ng Japan?
It's not that good. That's why they're
Yeah, they
inviting
didn't
more
go with-
tourists as of recently.
Yeah.
They're getting lighter with the visas.
Oh, that's why they didn't choose the best destination name.
In some way, they're kind of strict with visa. So
They-
yeah,
I think they're turning more into Europe now.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And especially next year, since next year will
Oh, yeah.
be Olympic season.
Olympic,
Yeah,
as predicted by Akira.
yeah.
Did
so,
you know
what?
that the Japanese visa is actually the most flexible one in the world?
What do you mean?
As far as the number of countries that you can go through without applying for a visa.
Passport? The passport?
really?
Japanese passport? I thought it was
Yes,
Singapore
Japanese
now.
No, Japanese passport. Last time I checked.
Ooh.
I know, right?
It's that because there are lots more otaku in other
Probably.
countries.
Probably.
Anyway, the guy who presented the name, Yoshihide Suga, the chief cabinet secretary, is
Anong
now
pangalan?
famous. Yoshihide
Bongo.
Suga. He's now famous in
Bongo.
Twitter. He's now a meme because of
Nice.
this one. So yeah.
Uso ba yung memes sa Japan?
Oh yes,
Do they,
Yes.
Very
do they
much.
meme a lot there? Really?
they meme a
Yeah.
lot.
Yes, they do.
Then
Even Kojima.
Anyway, every
Yeah,
time
kasi yung line
new
ng
era is announced, they also have to reset their calendars. So, why did I
really.
actually bring this up in the first place? Basically, change of an era. It may not be important to some people, especially to people from other countries, except if you're a fan of tokusatsu. Tokusatsu actually groups their
Fan ako nun,
um,
masarap yun.
Tonkatsu
tokusatsu,
yata yun
tonkatsu
sa
pare. Anyway, tokusatsu,
Ako
they
naman,
group their characters by era. So, Kamen Riders, Ultramen, it's actually grouped by era. The era we're actually born in was actually Showa.
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 Showa represent
Showa represent. I think we're Showa 65. I think.
56.
Oh, 56. Oh, 56. Showa
Showa
56. I just missed. I've got a problem with the numbers. Anyway, the reason why we're starting with this one because I'm going to be talking about Netflix's new Ultraman. So let's go
Ooh.
straight there. So Ultraman is actually the continuation of the cheesy 60s Ultraman, or I think 60s or 70s. Um, so this new Ultraman is more of a cross between Iron Man and Kamen Rider now. He doesn't go 60 meters high, so he's just
Oh.
an armored guy in some way.
What? That sucks.
Whoa,
Not
whoa,
really.
whoa,
But
whoa,
the
whoa
thing
there.
here is, if you watched
Look.
Ultraman before, these guys are very clumsy. Uh,
Yeah, that's the charm, man.
yeah, that's the thing. The Ultraman here, the main guy, and the protagonist, is the son of the original Ultraman. The original Ultraman was actually Shin Hayata, his father. Then Shinjiro Hayata is now the son. He actually inherited the powers of Ultraman. So
May time
despite
limit
being
din.
a tiny guy, he's got super jumping powers and other stuff, you know. So
So, so being Ultraman can be passed on. So it's
in some
like
way,
it's like
based on
genetic.
this one, and this show is actually based on a manga.
Mm.
So
I
uh,
heard I
mhm.
heard this. It actually follows the manga closer.
Yep, yep. Because basically the first Ultraman was actually rebooted as a manga. Although it's still that 60 meter Ultraman. This
Best
one,
Ultraman.
yeah,
Mm.
this one actually carries over the story. So basically, some people call it the Ultraman Hayata, the first one. So actually, the story of getting someone to inherit the powers, or the being part of a family, getting an offspring, basically, it's not an original idea. There was actually another Ultraman that was shown. Actually, I've seen it in Crunchyroll. It's Ultraman Jido, and
Mm.
it had the same premise. The only difference is the this Ultraman was actually the antagonist of the previous Ultramans, which is Belial, Ultraman Belial. So basically, what happens here is if he transforms, he looks like his father, so people actually hate him in some way. Which is why I like that show. And it also has Chihiro Yamato in it, which is a hot kung fu chick. So yeah, another reason to watch that show. So anyway, as a story, Ultraman was actually good. But there may be problems with people who actually like to criticize the quality of a show, because basically
Like
it's
me.
in 3D, so it's like
Like me. Is that what
in
you're
a way,
talking about?
yes. I'm actually talking about you specifically. Because anyway, this one was actually produced by Production IG. They actually did Pat Labor and other stuff. They're pretty famous.
Is
The
it
thing
Pat
here,
Labor or Pat Labor?
Pat
Pat
Labor.
labor.
Pat Labor. It's
Hindi ko alam.
in their katakana is Patreba. So yeah,
Patoreba.
Patoreba. So anyway, the thing here is the frame rate changes from 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second to 20 frames per second. So
Depending on the budget.
there's only one budget, and apparently it's not that good. But if you
Wait, you're talking about the Ultraman on Netflix?
yep.
Are
So
you really?
yeah, so that's why
I'm-
I'm warning
hating
you
it already.
from the start that
Even though it's a Netflix?
yeah,
original?
majority of the animation on Netflix that's actually a sickness, especially Godzilla. And
Yeah, because that's how you cut costs.
Yep.
It's a lot cheaper now to make CG than
CG
hand-drawn
than hand-drawn.
animation.
yeah, hand drawn
Shoot,
is
what
now
was the-
specialized compared to CG. CG can be passed to any other group and can look. The thing here with CG, the thing I like about CG is no matter what studio you pass it to, it's gonna be consistent in some way because the drawing does not change because it's already a molded character. When you take 2D animation overseas, quality will change. And
Oh, yeah.
that also depends on the director. So that's the only thing I like about CG. So Netflix
Can I
actually
say
went
something?
majority with CG.
Just when it comes to CG, you know what? I watched Berserk. It's not that bad.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's just that
People keep shitting on
Like
it, but I was like, there's worse. There's much worse.
yeah, there is much worse. That's why I
Yeah.
don't actually criticize Berserk that much. And yeah,
It's
I
actually
love the
consistent
story. So
Oh
Haters
yeah,
gonna
I
hate.
mean, yeah. Ano ko lang kasi maraming, a lot of people shit on the CG quality of Berserk. And I watched it and I'm like, what the hell are people talking about? It's like,
It's alright.
it's better and
It's
it's
okay.
consistent than most anime with CG.
Yeah, I have more issues with the adaptation of Berserk itself rather than the CG.
Oh, really? Oh, let's,
Yeah, I mean-
ayoko mag-segue, baka mamaya.
Yeah, no, it's more like I don't have as much of an issue with the quality of the CG itself rather than how the story was made, basically how the story
Oh,
develops,
well,
how the show
ganun
is made.
talaga yun.
But going back to your point, yeah, I did not have much of a problem with the CG there.
Yeah, right, there's
And-
much worse. I've seen Overlord, the CG there was horrible. Jeez. Don't get me started on the goblins.
Yep.
yep.
Sorry.
Was Alan going to say something?
No, I was gonna agree.
Ah, okay.
The goblins. Yung CG ng goblins ng Overlord. Is that what you're agreeing with?
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, right?
It was. It came from a good series. I mean, the series was great the
I
first
know.
time around.
Yep. Tapos they loaded it with lots of CG. Tapos parang they're trying to, I know, alam parang crunch time. Tapos you can tell that they're trying to finish the series.
Yeah. That's
Tapos-
actually common in animation, especially if there's a schedule. So yeah, you have to
Yeah,
follow the
if
schedule.
If you've seen Shirobako, then you know, then you understand.
Shirobako, or there's also another anime on that one. You can also watch Golden Boy, the 6th episode of Golden Boy. That also has anime production problems with it. Actually, it's not. It's about making anime, so that's a good explanation. And what is the other one? Animation Runner Kuromi was actually another good one. So you better watch
Wait,
those.
Golden Boy, is that yung guy na dropped out of law school because he's really good at everything, basically?
Well, technically, he didn't drop out of law school. He completed all the credits, but he didn't attend the graduation.
Yeah.
And then
Basically, he's
basically left
what do you
become
call
a student
this?
of life.
Yeah, he's a freelancer, a jack of all
Right.
trades. Yeah.
You know, he goes he gets around on a bike.
Yep.
Yep.
That's exactly it.
Oh, I
si
started
GT.
watching that last month. It was actually great. It was story wise.
How do you like my swimming?
I love that part. Okay, anyway, let's go back to Ultraman. Actually, for me, personal opinion, it's a very good show. It actually shows a specific Ultraman, which is Ultra 7 and Ace. It also shows Ultraman Jack in some way, but not like the actual Ultraman story, because this one they're not related. It's more of an Iron Man thing in where these guys actually get armor that looks or resembles
I don't
those
I
characters.
don't like how that sounds.
You watch it
Give it a
first,
shot
see
first.
if see if you like it.
May time limit? Is there a time limit?
No. He only gets a time limit if limiter is
Oh
released, and
no.
that time limit is
But
three
limiter.
minutes.
No. Sacrilege. Walang
Yeah, it exists.
Right.
Yeah, that thing when that the alarm sounds, tin, 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 that's when his limiter is actually released, and that's his timer for 3 minutes, basically. It's not like the first Ultraman. The first Ultraman, the reason why it's only 3 minutes when he gets into that alien stage, when he turns into that
mainit yung costume.
60-minute alien guy, it's because of Ultraman actually absorbs life force in a way, and he also uses solar power like Superman. So once that solar power is gone, he has to recharge. So it's only 3 minutes. Let's say his battery is not that good. It's not
Wala pa lithium ion, no?
hindi pa lithium ion. That's basically ever ready for you.
Because it's already been several years since they bought the battery, and now it's at ultra low capacity. Like you charge it you charge it overnight, and it only lasts like 5 minutes.
Anyway, you guys should give it a go, especially if you were a fan of the first Ultraman, because it kind of continues the story. The thing here is with the Netflix, the thing I didn't like is there was no cheesy intro music. So
Oh,
yeah,
wait, this Ultraman have like the same kind of thing like Kamen Rider, where there are different kinds of Ultraman.
Yep, there's a ton of them. So there was the Showa Ultramen.
Ultraman Giga.
So basically there's like 10 of them, and there's the Heisei Ultramen, which is like I don't know. I think there's more than 20. So yeah, there's a lot of them, and usually in movies they're all crossed over. It's like the Avengers of Tokusatsu. So
Oh, so they all exist in the same universe.
yes, exactly.
That's cool.
Because I remember Gridman. Because so I think so I think you know about this, Vince. But
Yep.
I was not a big fan of Tokusatsu before, and although I didn't hate them, I was more like indifferent towards them. and then Gridman changed my mind. Like a couple of things.
Gridman's
And then-
really a good introduction to Tokusatsu in some way.
Yeah. So the funny thing with Gridman there is that the characters constantly refer to the Ultra series.
Yep.
So it kind of ties back into the Ultraman, to the different Ultraman, but they usually talk about the kaiju
Yep.
because that ties into the same kind of enemies,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
so you kind of get the sense that there are different kaiju that Ultraman fights, but I wasn't really sure if like is it the same as Kamen Rider where there are multiple iterations of Kamen Rider.
Yeah, it's basically the same. The only difference is Kamen Rider is actually a Toei property. Ultraman is more of a Tsuburaya property.
Right.
So there was only one occasion that they actually crossed over, which was Ultraman versus Kamen Rider, where Kamen Rider goes 60 meters high. so that's kind of funny.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, it used to be a thing. I think it's in the 70s when it happened. So way back. And the Kamen Rider that time was the very first one. Yeah, Ichigo.
So my question is,
Uh-huh.
who has the cooler henshin sequence?
It's usually the Kamen Riders. Because Ultraman just raises a flashlight and pew, 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 he's big.
Beside that.
Kamen Rider has a henshin sequence hand gesture thingy. Actually, that hand gesture thing was actually more on the Showa Riders. The new ones, they're actually more on the belts. So one of them uses a cell phone to transform. One of them bangs a drum to transform. You know.
What what kind of drum? Like he has to play Taiko no Tatsujin.
Yeah, in some way, yeah. It's exactly a taiko. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of
Tokusatsu.
them. Some of them actually uses coins or kind of like, some like tokens to transform. And
They
his
put it in like a
motorcycle
slot or
is
something?
actually disguised as a vending machine. So yeah, great stuff there. That's why I watch Kamen Rider and Ultraman because they've got vast subject, lots of weird characters. Especially one of the Ultramen that I've watched in Star Cantonese. It was actually Ultraman Zarth, where he actually transforms by brushing his teeth. It was actually a thing. So if you guys are curious, and there is actually somewhere that actually and yeah, he works in a gas station, and that gas station turns into a battle station. Fantastic, right?
Oh yeah. Because why not? Because
Why not? That's why I love Ultraman and Kamen Rider because they are so weird. So yeah,
So if that Ultraman doesn't make an appearance at least once a day, you know that guy didn't brush his teeth.
in a way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
bad breath.
So yeah, I recommend watching Ultraman, especially if you were a fan of the first one. If you're not, it's actually a good story. Either way, because it kind of explains the backstory in some way, but you don't really need to know it. Just in case you're actually a first time person watching it, it's actually good. So as a story, it's pretty solid, but in some way, maybe your problem is if you had the problem with previous Netflix animations like Knights of Sidonia or Godzilla, you may have a problem with this one. But the story itself is solid, and I like it. So I
Ajin.
highly suggest it. Yeah, Ajin, basically the same. So yeah,
Like Ajin.
that's where I end the discussion on Ultraman. So the next topic we have is actually Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
I just have one description for this show. It's actually Chicken Run on steroids. That's basically it. Because
Chicken Run
It's
with
it's an
Cannon
anime
Beans.
version of Chicken Run.
yeah, anime
Actually,
version of Chicken Run.
My description of it is yung habulan kahasa.
Is that like a thing only rapists know? Hindi ko alam yun.
No, it's like tag, but if they catch you, they can rape you.
Hindi ko alam yung sa game na yan.
I don't think
Bawal sa Amerika yan. Yung game na yan, bawal sa Amerika.
so anyway, let's try to give a synopsis without spoiling too much.
Yep.
That's hard.
So no, well, I'll try since I think I'm the only one who's finished the entire series.
I actually finished it as well.
Oh, okay.
But you
Well,
go ahead. I think you can explain it better.
Yeah, because I've caught up with the manga as well. So,
Oh, great.
but
No spoilers.
anyway, yeah, I'll try not to spoil anything.
Well, I mean,
anyway,
I think
the
the
first
first part,
season
you
actually,
have,
the first
Yeah,
very first episode,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
yeah, because I think we have to cover the first episode in order to explain what makes this show kind of unique.
Can I
And also
say
because-
something before you start? Yeah, we have to spoil the first part because man, I was falling asleep.
What?
I'm sorry. I was falling asleep the first few parts.
Okay.
Yung first episode,
Yeah.
it's like, well, akala ko do you know Rainbow?
Rainbow the show?
Yeah.
Or
Yung parang
mm,
nasa prison sila. Tapos yung nangangarap sila to have a normal life and all that stuff. I thought it was gonna be like
uh
that.
nope. It's nothing like
Yep.
that.
No, it's nothing like that. So that's why inantok ako. Tapos, I get to the last and then like, what the heck? And then, okay, so go ahead, sorry.
So actually, the Wikipedia entry itself spoils the first episode. So
Yeah, you kind of have to.
yeah, but basically, Promised Neverland is the story of like three young kids who are pretty much sort of prodigies in their own way, and they grow up in this orphanage, uh, and they're all sort of enjoying a perfect little life, as well as perfect as it can be in an orphanage, because they have like gourmet food. Um, all their needs are taken care of. They have good beds. They have good sort of like they've sort of formed a family with the other kids, and their caretaker, who they call Mama, like likes to take good care of them and always looks after everything. They're basically not wanting for anything except for a family of their own. But of
Or
course, as
close.
is always the case with stories like this, like anything that looks too perfect on the outside will always have a dark secret lurking underneath the surface. So what happens in the first episode is that um, one of the little kids, who's named Connie, is actually scheduled to be adopted
Yeah,
sometime in
it's
the
an
middle of.
orphanage if you haven't mentioned.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, it's an orphanage. So Connie's set to be adopted, and on the day that she's being adopted, right, mom, their caretaker, Mama, takes her and her bag. They say goodbye to all the other kids, and then they leave the house. But then, one of the main characters, Emma, notices that Connie has left her stuffed rabbit on the dinner table, and this stuffed rabbit is kind of like something that Connie never lets go of. So she's wondering why she could have left it. So Emma and Norman,
Norman.
basically, yeah, Norman, the one of the other uh, kids, decide to go out and try to um, catch Connie at the gate before she's sent to the outside world to basically join her family. And they go sneaking out. They're not allowed to go near the gate for safety reasons, so they're told. So Norman just says that we'll we'll both go and we'll both apologize when we get scolded by Mama. So they go out, they head out to the gate, and when they get there, there's a wagon. They look inside the wagon, and they see Connie's dead body with the flower sticking out. And then they hear some uh, sounds. They hide, and they see these huge monsters coming out from a build from a door inside the passageway, and they realize that all the kids are being actually
It's a
raised.
farm.
Yeah,
They're
they're being
raised as
raised as cattle.
livestock. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, at the end of the first episode, they all decide to try to escape, and from there on, it basically becomes
Prison
a
break.
prison break. Yep. But one of the things that I like about Promised Neverland, right, I would never have thought that it was a Shonen Jump property, given how it's written.
Very mature.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, the subject matter is.
It's more
Yeah,
of a
it's a
seinen kind of story than a
yeah,
shonen story.
yeah. Although Emma, the main girl character, is
Meliodas.
actually huh? What?
Meliodas.
Well, she kind of fulfills the shonen role
Yep.
because she's like full of energy and always like, oh, I have to look
Physically
after my
fit.
family. Yeah, and I have to look after my family. So she kind of fits. She kind of reminds me of Naruto in some ways, except that
Or
she's
Asta.
actually smart. You know. So in that sense, yeah. If I liken them to Naruto like archetypes, so you'd have like Emma, who's basically Naruto. Norman is kind of like Shikamaru, I guess,
Mm.
and then
Ray.
Ray would be Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Yeah, he'd be
Uh,
Sasuke.
The cool guy.
Yeah, the cool guy.
They always have that.
Yeah, the cool guy is kind of stoic,
Yeah,
kind of
see,
a bit of a
Asta
loner.
Ino,
Yeah,
right?
but yeah, and um, a a great thing is how they executed the whole adaptation. So there, obviously it's an adaptation of a manga from Shonen Jump, and as with all adaptations, they do change some things around. But the some of the changes that they made here, I
Unless
am
you're Scott Snyder.
totally some of the things they changed, I'm totally on board with. Like, I can understand why they made certain changes because, like in the manga, it since it's a prison break uh, anime, right? There, the main focus of the story is gonna be the scheming, the plan making,
The cat and
and
mouse.
yeah. So that kind of thing in the manga they show it like because they're gonna be planning without without their caretaker knowing about their plans, right? So they've got speech balloons that indicate that they're whispering basically all the time. But then in the anime, it's like they're just talking in normal voices, and like and that's fine because you
That'd be
can't
horrible.
expect.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, yeah, you can't expect them to keep whispering all the time. It's just that
Especially it's an
sometimes,
anime.
yeah, it's just that sometimes they're like, like raising their voices like, whoa, 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 you don't want Mama to hear about it. And a certain character, who appears like in the third episode, they changed something about her, because the way she interacts in the manga is they show a lot of her internal monologue, and that's kind of
Well, that's
hard.
cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard in if you're doing it in an anime. So they made a certain change there that allows her to um to express her thoughts without it making seem
Like
without
she's
making it seem like
schizophrenic.
she's yeah
Is
like
this Sister
like
Crone?
yeah.
Ah, okay. She's creepy as heck.
Si Canary nga from Hunter x Hunter.
Uy, mas maganda naman si Canary.
Yeah, she got old.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but
creepy.
yeah, but basically it's the like there's also like something that was revealed about Mama. So the name of the caretaker that they call Mama is Isabella, and they reveal something about her fairly early on in the manga, which they don't reveal until later on in the anime. And to me, it like moving the reveal later makes a lot more sense in terms of the suspense aspect of it, because a lot of the appeal of this is like the mystery of why they're in that situation, and there's a lot of unknown factors here. So it works really well as a suspense kind of show because every episode ends on a cliffhanger, and the great thing about how they did it was the cliffhanger that they end each episode with. You don't know, like some episodes it'll be something that takes the entire rest of the next episode to resolve. Sometimes it just gets resolved in the next, like in the first 5 minutes of of the next episode. So you don't really know, like, if that cliffhanger that it ends on is a big one or it's just something that
Inconsequential.
yeah. So it
I
always keeps
actually
you guessing.
don't like that.
Why?
Because you should let the story flow as best. And so far, I'm only like 5 episodes in, but the flow of the story is really good. Pero
Yeah.
the way you're describing it is parang alam mo yung pag manonood ka ng American Idol, tapos yung malalaman mo na kung sino yung may eliminate. Tapos they're gonna make you think that it's this person, and then they cut to a commercial break,
and
then
it's not like that. It's not like it's sort of misleading you.
Yeah, they're not gonna say sorry, but we're gonna be spending more time with you because you're going on the road.
It's more like it's more like in terms of how the story progresses in the show. Like
But
you
isn't
don't know
that
if
very
it's going to be.
shonen?
Yeah, it is. Right.
Make you watch next episode, basically.
Yeah, I binge watched it for one day.
I
It's like-
actually started it today. It's pretty good. Like I said, the pacing. I didn't even notice that until you brought it up right now, actually, because I thought the show was really well paced.
Yeah, it is. Like, and that's very hard to pull off for a suspense like show.
For an anime,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
even like a regular TV show,
Yeah, exactly. So, the other thing that one of the things that I didn't like that they changed was something that happened in the ending. So I won't talk about it, but it was kind of like a cheesy thing. Although it's not to the degree of Erased, where it's totally different.
I love Erased. That was a good anime.
Yeah, Erased is like it's a good show, but the ending is kind of
Yeah, the ending, it's a crap ending on the anime. The manga was still way better.
Well, I'm of the opinion that the manga ending was also kind of
Yeah,
but-
in a way.
Actually,
But
I
it
don't know. I
made
actually
more
liked
sense to do it.
I liked it. I liked the anime.
Yeah.
really
I
did.
think the problem I had with Erase was that the whole show had it's like they kept up the mystery and the pace for the entire show, that by the time they got to the end, it's like, how do you end something like this? So it's like, so if I was a writer on that show, I'd probably just kill myself or something, because I wouldn't know how to end it in a satisfying way.
This reminds
But,
me of high school, where you actually wrote something and it ended where the guy actually killed himself.
Oh yeah. No, he didn't kill himself. The story there is that so Alan and Carlson probably don't know this, but I wrote a story in high school for the storytelling contest that we did, and what I wrote was that it was a detective story where the detective basically got murdered right when he was about to reveal the culprit.
That sucks, man.
Right.
Expect more from him.
But that was
Like,
fun.
talk about cliffhangers.
Yeah, but that was fun because we had to do, because we had to write. We either had to write our own story or present a story that you only had like 5 minutes to present. So I was like, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not gonna memorize a story that I have to present for 5 minutes. I just write my own story. That way, if I mess up, then nobody knows that I messed up. So that was my
Genius.
thinking back then. Yeah, that's my. That's the Norman way of thinking.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I totally recommend it. It's a good pacing. It's a nice change of pace from what I've usually watched, and it's the one show that I kept up with for this season. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
It's
that one and Kaguya-Sama.
yep. So those were the two shows that I've pretty much kept up with for this season.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know what?
animes actually ended. A lot of season enders happened this week, so you can actually talk about it. Any of the animes that you actually saw, which ended recently.
Sword
Mob
Art
Psycho.
Online.
You were saying, Cal?
Sword, Sword Art.
Sword
Yeah,
Art.
Sword Art Online.
I haven't seen
Well,
that yet. The new one.
yeah, Alicization.
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 Well, technically, it's basically only halfway through because it's a split curve. They're gonna continue it. They're
Uh,
gonna continue it after October, I think. Yeah.
After you watch, I don't know, man. After, to me, the first one and then GGO was the best arcs. I didn't like Alpha M. And I don't think I like this one either. And I'm like a big Sword Art Online fan. I didn't like it. Mas gusto ko pa yung yung Gun Gale Online.
Gun Gale.
Alternative.
no,
Yung
yeah.
Yeah, that
You see
was
then.
a lot fun. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know, man. I think there's a point in time where it got so big that it took itself too seriously. That's why I probably didn't like it.
yeah, actually, I'm. Well,
No, I think it's
yeah,
it's more they're trying to milk it because they
Think
don't
so?
they're just
Yeah,
trying
I
to
guess yeah.
continue the story
yeah,
of Kirito logging into the virtual world. So they're trying to think of more and more ways to make him log in.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm actually I was actually one of those people who didn't have much of a problem with the Alfheim Online arc. It's like that was fine. Like, uh,
It wasn't better
I,
than the first one though. The first arc.
of course, it's not better than the first arc, but it's
Would you
like
say
some
it's
people.
better than Gun Gale?
No, I wouldn't say
See,
it's
then
better than, but it's
no, I
not
guess
bad.
no.
No, no.
Yeah, I'm not saying
uh,
it's bad, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as those two.
Yeah,
And
no.
even
The
Gun
problem.
Gale Online, I didn't like how it ended.
Yeah, the problem is like people act as if the Alfheim Online arc doesn't exist, and I
Wow.
think that um they're they're dissing it for all the wrong reasons. But that's just me. So uh, when Alicization started, it's like um I kind of thought it was more like trying to return to the
The roots.
yeah,
Return to form.
to the yeah, what was the Aincrad arc in a
Mm.
way,
Right.
because for one thing, like Kirito gets hurt early on in the when he's dived into the virtual world, and he doesn't know, like, he doesn't know what happens if he dies there, but he understands the nature of the game that he's playing, and he understands that it's not as simple as as the games that he used to play.
Are
So
we allowed spoilers here or what?
uh well, I
The season ended,
this
so
Why not,
well
right?
In
not
some ways.
So,
Although I never
tanong ko
seen
lang,
it, yeah.
tanong ko lang, tanong ko lang.
let's keep it as
Blacklights
vague
are
as
a
possible.
copy, right? Blacklights
No,
are a copy.
nope,
the,
nope,
So
nope,
they're
nope.
the actual
around
like
digitized
The,
form
no,
of the soul.
No, well, Flocklights themselves are either copies of the souls, or they are virtual AI manifestations.
Pero yung like Kirito's fucklight,
Yeah,
that's just
Kirito's
a copy,
Flocklight.
right?
No, it's his
No, that's
actual
his
soul.
actual
That's actually soul.
or
Yeah,
his consciousness.
yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to spoil it, but well, I guess it's a theory, and even if you watch the whole thing, it's not confirmed.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
But can I
Yeah.
say it, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying, right? The Alicization arc sort of brings back the stakes that were in the first Aincrad arc.
Well, if you die,
Okay.
you die.
It sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
kind of, because
See,
the thing is, you don't know. Kirito doesn't know what happens. What will happen if his HP goes to zero?
yeah. See, I was under the understanding that it was a copy. You know.
No, it's not, because it's kind of implied in the. It's implied in the last episode that it's not. They're actually kind of scared what will happen if, well, if, for example, the power goes out and Kirito's still plugged into the machine.
Mm.
That's a
Right.
problem in the Philippines.
Pero well, as far as yung other entities within that world, I think if I remember right, what they
Mhm.
did was those flocklights were nurtured from
Those
birth.
fleshlights.
Yeah. Clean
Right, if I
lyrics,
could,
man.
Clean
Clean,
lyrics.
clean lyrics. Goodbye,
We're
goodbye,
in
clean
iTunes,
lyrics.
by the way.
Welcome to
Oh,
welcome to explicit land.
I
right.
don't know.
No, pero going sorry, segue lang or going
Mm.
back
Sure,
to
sure.
you
Yeah.
the Alfheim Online, because
Mhm.
I kind of agree with Pao that people shouldn't really just forget about Alfheim Online, because that's how they kind of explained how the world seed works.
Yes.
It's not that I forget about it. I didn't like the only part I like about the Alpine is when they actually get out of it, and then they're in the real world, and then they're in the
Right.
real world, and then they're fighting, the guy who was the super creep, who was,
So so it's like
that part I like.
reverse. So it's reverse Assassin's Creed. Like,
Yeah, that part I like. It was very satisfying yung parang syempre, yung body niya is not as well honed as the one in SAO. Tapos
mhm.
pero yung sword skill, that's the funny thing with the mind, even if it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
on the game, but because you've done it like 1,000 times in your mind, you still have the skill, even though, you physically won't be able to do it. But, you can tell the skill is still there,
yeah,
I thought that
yeah,
was
yeah,
really cool.
yeah, yeah. I think that goes into one of the things that people complain about. Like, how can Kirito be so good? He only knows about it through. He only does it virtually, but he's got his sword skills in the real life, in the real
That's
world.
stupid. That's so
Like,
stupid.
come on, man. That's what when athletes try to do something, like, they always tell you, the coaches always tell them to visualize it first
Yeah,
before
no, that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
you do it,
It's,
right?
that's so
In
stupid that
boxing, they
you.
have I don't
Oh,
know what
yeah. Shadow
image
boxing.
training.
Shadow
Yeah,
boxing.
Image
Right.
training. Hmm.
yeah, exactly. You build up the muscle memory in your brain, kind of.
And
So
yeah, exactly. Who tells you to punch? Who tells you to extend your arm and hit the person in the face? Where do
yeah,
you think that comes from? The
yeah,
mind.
yeah, exactly. It's like you train it in your brain, and then your brain sort of trains your muscles to move, and like,
Yep.
your muscles, if you don't use your muscle, like, if you keep just thinking about it, then obviously your muscles won't gain the experience of doing something, but your mind can still, like, sort of tell your muscles to move how you want them to move.
Yeah. I think people take muscle memory literally. Muscle memory is still in your mind.
Well, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's probably 80% in your mind and then 20% in your actual body.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, their
Yeah, yeah.
muscles don't have a memory
Memories.
where they'll memorize. People say muscle memory like it's
Yeah.
stored in your muscles, but that's not the case. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, bottom line, Alfheim, it's not as bad. Well, I don't think it is as bad as people say, but anyway.
People like me.
Right. I think just think of it as a bridge to Gun Gale Online.
Yeah.
See, that was cool. I just didn't like how that one ended. And then you know what? This one, Alicization, I like how it started, but I didn't like how it ended.
Well, technically the arc isn't finished yet. That
Right. There's another
the
part
problem.
of it
Yeah.
that goes back to
Yeah, but it's like
Underworld.
the end was like, okay, this woman, she was fighting with one arm, even though she had the
Yeah.
ability to regenerate.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
I'll
then
have to agree with you there. Like the
Yeah.
last 3 episodes are kind of like, we're just
Yeah.
trying to coast along and
Yep.
extend this fight for as long as we can, just so we can have a clean break after this
That was
episode.
how she gets beaten. Are you kidding me? That freaking, that troll latches onto her and blows her up. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah, but
Are you
then,
serious? Come on.
well, Kirito
Think
also
about okay,
won.
just think about it this way, right?
Mm.
How fast is Kirito with his sword? How fast is he?
Pretty
He's
fast.
super fast, right? He's very fast,
Right.
right?
He's the fastest. He's the one who has the best
Fastest reflexes in
Yeah.
Minecraft.
reflex and speed.
Heathcliff. Remember Heathcliff? He
Yeah.
had to cheat to beat Kirito in that duel the
Yeah.
first
Right.
one, right?
Yeah.
And you're telling me, this woman can dodge Kirito's sword, but can't dodge a pervy old man from grabbing onto her.
To be fair, she was in the tractor beam.
But still, you're the administrator. Are you seriously?
Her progress
don't know.
bar wasn't complete yet. She was kind of stuck in that.
Yeah,
She was stuck uploading herself.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry,
that
man.
was
This
that was
makes
so
no
weird.
sense. I'm
No,
sorry,
it
Vince.
was
This
it
makes
was
no
so
sense.
weird. They could have done it a lot better. It was just so weird.
Yep.
so weird. Like seriously, it was so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Okay. No. I can give you that because I honestly don't know what happened at that point.
Yeah, and then
And-
like you don't know if it actually died or they formed one being and then
Yeah, but
got backed up saved or
that's why
know.
I'm saving my
Your judgment.
comments for that. Yeah, until after the second part starts back up.
That's the part. That's the sad part, though. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, I'm like a big
Oh.
Sword Art Online fan. Tapos
Oh.
medyo naano rin ako na seriously, okay, this world is in danger,
Mhm.
and you're really not gonna dual wield until your friend gets stabbed in the freaking stomach and cut into half. I don't know, man.
Well, I
Prob-
think it's
y-
different kasi remember each weapon or each item has a certain kind of
Affinity.
item level
Yeah. That
Yeah,
that
can
you
only
have
use
to
it.
have your authority level, and if you're going
Yeah.
to dual wield, you have to have a high enough authority level to be able to use both swords at the same.
Yes.
It's
but
kind
I
of like a
mean,
super
he
bar.
could have done
Ratio.
that. I mean, like he did it at the end there.
Well, because
Well, kasi-
technically, well,
They're
it's
divine level items, right?
no, because technically, this is gonna. I'm sorry, Vince. This is gonna really spoil
Sure,
the
go
thing.
ahead.
But remember, in the end, that it was Yu-Gi-Oh who became the sword.
Right.
So it's not. It's not technically bound to the rules of
Si
the.
si Yami Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Yami Yu-Gi-Oh! Became the sword of
He
Exodia.
activated. He
Yeah,
activated my
Exodia,
trap
the
card.
forbidden one.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Alodia, the forbidden one. Bad
But
trip.
yeah, but yeah, essentially, um, because Yu-Gi-Oh became the sword, it's it kind of changes the rules of what he can and of what
I,
Kirito can handle.
I don't know, man. I just.
Oh, so
I
in a
get.
sense,
Yeah,
he gave him permission or the authority level to use another.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
It doesn't.
speaking of weird, have you guys
Mm.
seen the last episode of Mob Psycho?
Oh no, I haven't. I'm
I
in
want to.
episode 6, I think.
Okay, I won't
And
spoil anything, but it's actually
it's
it has the best fight scenes ever.
Yeah,
Actually,
even the first
yeah.
one was pretty good.
yeah,
I
because
mean,
it's
the first
Um,
bones.
fight scene was pretty
It's
good.
bones,
Yeah,
man.
Mob Psycho actually is the living proof that even if your manga is crap, the artwork, as long as the story is good, they can make a really great anime out of it. Look at Ninku. If you've seen the manga of Ninku, my goodness, I'm not sure how
It's
it
a
actually got published, but the artwork is crap.
You know
But
what? There's a lot of shit that gets published, man. Like,
yeah,
there's
but
so many anime
here's the
that
thing:
gets made, and it's a
to
lot of
be
shit.
published, you have to give a good story. So no matter how crappy your artwork is, as long as you got a good story, you'll get published. And he's
I don't
got
know, man.
passion, yeah. And he's
There's a
improving
lot of shitty
actually.
stuff.
Yeah.
well,
The funny part about Mob Psycho, the second one, there's the eye catch, animated eye catches. Those were actually illustrated by the original illustrator one.
one.
So yeah, so
Oh,
that was actually a really big improvement on his art style. So I'm kind of impressed.
yeah. I do have to say that Mob Psycho 2 is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
Better than the first one.
so far, yes, I would say.
Because
Like
that last fight was pretty sick. In season one.
I'm 6 episodes in, and it's like basically the 6 episodes that I've seen of Mob Psycho feels like you watched the entire first season, like squeezed into 6 episodes.
Also, they're doing the whole like Reagan is duping Mob, and
Yeah,
you
in a
know.
way, he's still doing it.
Well, yeah, he's still
So the
doing it,
formula,
but
yung
he's still a
formula
good
is still
guy.
there, is basically.
Yeah, but he's still he's a good guy
Yeah.
at heart. But
He's still
but the he's the best. He's the best.
He's the master.
Yeah, because we all like at the end of like during the first season, like you kind of think that Reagan's just this con man who's just taking advantage of Mob.
But he is though.
he is technically, but at some there are some moments there where you see that he actually cares for Mob. Like he actually you see that he takes his mentorship role very seriously. Like not very seriously, but he takes some investment into it. He puts some investment into it.
Yeah, mawawalan siya ng gopher eh. Kaya
Yeah, but
Right.
you'll see more of it in season, and
Yep.
you'll kind of understand that that
Not just a Goku.
Reagan was the best mentor that Mob could ever have.
Anyway, I'll give you a specific. It's not a spoiler, but there will come a time in that series where Mob gets pissed off at Reagan because he always calls him at the wrong time, like group meetings and stuff. So he gets pissed off and he doesn't show up with Reagan when he gets a lot of clients. So that's the best part. So you gotta see that part.
Oh, was that early on? No,
um, almost at the end part. I think
Great.
Oh, okay.
last four, last seven
Okay.
episodes. I don't
Okay,
know.
I was thinking of a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll get that part, and the way they resolve their differences, I loved it. So you guys gotta see that shit.
Uh, at the very least, the theme song is better.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like, oh, the theme song of the first was really good, and then oh, they improved it even more. It's like, oh yes, oh yes, this is the show that just keeps on giving.
It's like from Tomato Mart to Mellow Mart. Best theme song ever.
Oh, Kaguya-sama wins best theme song
Oh
this
yeah,
season. For this season.
Kaguya-Sama's the best. Anyway, speaking
But,
of, Kaguya-Sama also showed the last the season ender episode,
oh
and
yeah,
it was
so good.
fantastic.
So good.
It's so good.
It's like it. They had to choose the last episode to hit you with the feels. Like why? And it's like, come on, man. This is a comedy show. Like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
You know what?
My eyes are
Actually,
sweating.
I'm actually hoping they adapt like Komi-san Komusha. That's really good too. Kung gusto mo yung ano, Kaguya-sama, I think you'll like that one too. Right now it's just a manga,
Mhm.
but it's really good. Like parehong style na, boy and girl,
Mhm.
but the girl is like, is super hot, super tall.
Yeah.
Chick at school, number one, most popular, very smart. Tapos, just because she can't communicate that well, always leads to misunderstanding. Like
Ah.
yung may
It's more like
nagpo-propose sa kanya.
gamers.
Oh, no,
Misunderstanding.
like this girl can barely speak, and then yung alam mo yung may what do you call that? Not propose, yung nagpo-profess ng love. What do
Confess,
you call that?
confess.
Confess.
Ayun,
Confess
nagko-confess.
her
Pag
love.
marami nagko-confess,
Yep.
she doesn't know what to say. Tapos people assume na, she's saying that I'm not good enough for her. Yung mga ganun stuff na, and it's pretty good. The art is really good.
Okay.
And, it's very similar to Kaguya.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing I'm actually waiting for this year is Arifureta. So
Oh, yeah.
But you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Are they
We're
really
waiting
going
for
to
that.
adopt that?
yeah, it's already confirmed.
Yep.
It's
August.
greenlit.
Wow.
It was confirmed 2 years ago, like,
Yep.
or something.
Oh.
And
So
it's
it's like,
showing
I'm
this year.
Oh,
June?
wait, but July,
July.
I think.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but before we move on from Kaguya-sama, I just
Okay.
have to say, like, it's like when Kaguya-sama starts and her personality is the aloof kind of personality, because it's explained at the start that she's a rich girl,
Mhm.
comes from a wealthy family, she's good at everything, so that kind of you kind of accept that she's just this aloof girl who doesn't really care much for the
she's
common
a brat,
people.
basically.
Yeah, it's like she's just this bratty kind of girl. That's why she refuses to confess to the president. But then that when you watch the last part of the 11th episode and the first part of the 12th episode, it's like, oh, it's not just because she's a sheltered girl, but there's actually some gravitas to her situation. And it's like, oh, come on, man. It's like you got you, it's like, oh man, it's like, really. I, I love you, Kaguya. I love you, Kaguya-sama.
And the fact that she doesn't have technological skills. That's the funniest part of the show. When
Actually, like her assistant.
when she
Hayasaka.
was
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Hayasaka.
yeah, she was trying to
Hayasaka's
make a
little-
Twitter account. Really funny.
Yeah,
Twitter.
but yeah, Kaguya-sama's great. I love you, Kaguya-sama.
Okay, so let's end the discussion with anime or TV. Actually, I still have one more. Since you
Mhm.
guys are from the States, have you seen the first episode of Twilight Zone? The new
No,
one?
I have not.
No, not the reboot.
Yeah, it's actually free on YouTube, especially if you're in the United States area. The
That's a
first
big
one is
area.
yeah, United States area.
That's a big area.
Yeah, it's an
Directed by
area,
Jordan Peele, or is
It's
it
kind
just
of.
hosted?
especially if you're there in the U.S. The first episode was the comedian, and it's it's got the feel of original Twilight Zone, and the host actually is Jordan Peele, the same guy that actually
Oh,
directed Us and
get out,
Get Out.
get out.
So at first, I couldn't really take Jordan Peele very seriously because he's a comedian in the first place. But the way he's doing horror, I think he nailed it in the head. So yeah, I suggest you watch the first episode of Twilight Zone. It's actually a CBS All Access show. It's showing
That
on
sucks.
CBS, so
No, I don't want to watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. I live alone.
anyway, it's not that creepy kind of show. It what just
It's
happens
just
is
weird.
whenever he tries to do a joke, and it's usually got something to do with the Second Amendment, nobody laughs because it's really told in a bad way. So he really forces
crowd.
that thing in whenever he starts. Then he meets
That's what she
another
said.
comedian. That other comedian is kind of legendary. I forgot who the actor was. Let me just check that. I'm on Google.
Wait.
The legend will never die.
The first one. Okay. Anyway, the second episode was actually Nightmare at 3,000 Feet. It's with David Tennant as the main
Oh.
actor there. So yeah,
Oh.
Scrooge McDuck.
Wait, that
Doctor Who.
The
th-
Purple
th-
Man.
that sounds like the same title of an episode from the original.
Yeah, they're taking a lot from the original. So which is why I actually like it because it feels like the original. So yeah, I do recommend it. By the way, the comedian I was talking about is actually played by Tracy Morgan. So he's the mysterious character there. So yeah, really really good. Yeah, anyway, it's a
Is it
really
a spoiler?
not
Who's the
really,
actor?
because that's where it actually starts. So the mysterious part starts. So I didn't say what happens. I just said he met this guy, a real
Everyone
mysterious
dies.
guy. So anyway, I highly suggest it. You may want to give it a try. It's free in the U.S. It's just the first episode, but if you really like Twilight Zone, you can subscribe to CBS All Access. Okay, so let's end it for the TV part. Let's go straight to video games. So, actually, with video games, we can actually start with Alan on this one because we didn't get your opinion about Sekiro getting an easy mode. What's your take on that one?
What?
Some
I
people are suggesting that Sekiro should actually have an easy mode. Some of them don't want it. So, on which side are you on?
No, I don't want it to have an easy mode.
There you
I
go.
told you
High five.
I
High five.
suck at
High
it,
five.
pero it's still it kind of defeats the purpose of the game or that
Exactly.
kind of genre.
Exactly. Okay, here's my take on it actually. Dark Souls
Guilty Katsu.
or Souls games in general, actually, I just realized it. The Souls games, the main, how do you call it? The main thing that defines Dark Souls games is their difficulty. And if you take that away, Dark Souls is kind of a mediocre game because yeah, that's the only thing that actually defines Dark Souls. It's the
Hot take.
difficulty.
That's a
Oh,
hot
but you know
take.
what? That's
Diba, when they market Dark Souls games they always say, "Are you prepared to die again?"
Yeah,
But that's marketing. But it's like
But that's also kind of like where they got it from.
yeah, because it's the difficulty that defines a Dark Souls game.
yeah. But then
Yeah,
you
you
have
don't-
you have all these people like who are in it for the lore. Like they can tell you that this boss is located in like the bell tower because he was actually a previous guard of the bell tower and he was corrupted and that's why he's there, and the reason that he's got like this big old axe because he used to be an executioner or something, and you got people who are way into the lore like that, and for them that's what defines Dark Souls, the way the whole environmental storytelling kind of thing.
No, anyway, but, that's just my personal opinion. So, in a way, for me, although I'm not really deep into Dark Souls games, that's why I actually thought it's a mediocre game, other than the difficulty. And anyway, the graphics is fine,
Burn
but
the
if,
hell
yeah.
if you look at the character creation, that actually sucks. If you look at your main character and character creation, it's not that good. If you want a character
The story-
creation, if you want a character creation done right, go to Dragon's Dogma. That's the best character creation system ever. I could make my face in that thing.
Have you tried Black Desert Online?
Yeah, Black Desert was actually also good. That had the best
That one
faces.
is really good. Yep. Black Desert, for me, is like best character creator.
Best character
Still.
creator. But no one actually plays it much.
Well,
No one I know
Right.
plays it.
Fire.
At,
Yeah.
at first, though, when it first came out, I think the gameplay the gameplay isn't all that good in my opinion because I don't like yung combo system.
Mhm.
It combo and timing system in.
Wait, are you playing? Are you
in
talking about Dark
MMORPG?
Souls or?
No.
Black
He's
Desert.
talking
Black
about Black Desert.
Oh,
Black Desert.
Black Desert.
Right, pero they nailed the character customization. They spent a lot of time,
Yep.
and you'll spend a lot of time in it.
My character would look like Bruce Willis.
5 hours character creation.
5 hours deciding the name of my character.
Ay, sa labakas.
Anyway, another issue we're going to talk about is actually Capcom as a company.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Basically,
really an
they're
issue.
yeah.
Well, it's a topic.
I have issues actually. They're nailing it, but the fighting game part, they're screwing it up.
Well, that was before the golden age.
The thing here is there are no fighting games as of now.
Yeah.
We don't see
Well,
any
yeah.
fighting games, and the last one
They
they
don't wanna fuck it
released
up.
was crap.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I don't believe that this is a new golden age of Capcom, because I never
Why?
believed that. No, because I never believed that they became bad to begin with.
You don't believe in
Because you're-
Crapcom?
Crapcom.
Yeah, because I never believed in like Crapcom because I never got all the complaints about all that. Well, okay, Street Fighter V, yeah, that was bad.
That was
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
dude.
that
That was
was
a lot
bad.
wonkier than 4, man. Like the mechanics
Yeah,
are
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I
wonky.
mean, but that was like one misstep in like how many years? It's like
Well, if you remember, 4 was bad, but then they made it good. They turned it around.
4 was all right. 4 was good. I actually liked
I like 4.
Vanilla 4.
Dude, when it launched, it was shit. Walang, there was no story mode. They added that shit on.
What?
And
No,
then
no,
when-
that's
was
5.
That was 5. That was 5, man.
4 was good.
Oh, was that? Am I confusing it? I probably am.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you are.
4 was
I think-
good.
Didn't they release 4 without all that extra stuff too, and then released it in
No,
arcade
no,
mode?
no. It was complete.
nope,
there was
nope.
actually an animated
No.
episode with it as
That-
well.
Yep. The thing with 4 is that there was the Vanilla 4, and then there was the
Super.
Super
Arcade.
Edition, then there was Super Arcade Edition, then there was Ultra. So it's like people were complaining because Capcom was just re-releasing it. It's like,
Looking it.
come on,
That's
man.
nothing new.
Come on, man.
Nothing new.
Yeah, it's like you where were you in the 90s? Were in full swing. It's like
Nothing
you should
new.
watch. Go back to High Score Girl.
Go back to ER Kung Fu.
Yeah, but yeah, see, like um, like I don't know why people are saying that Capcom is back, but because personally, I never really thought
They never went away.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what the only thing that like people complain about is like DMC, which okay, I actually like that one, but okay, I can give you that. And then there was Street Fighter 5 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and
That
Marvel
sucked.
vs. Capcom Infinite was actually pretty good in terms of gameplay, but it's just that the art direction was not good. But then
And character selection. I didn't like the
yeah,
character roster.
the whole brouhaha over the character selection that was kind of it was bad. Like how Capcom handled that one when they were trying to figure to justify that there were no X. But then that may have been also down to Marvel rather than
They-
Capcom.
Yeah,
Would
in
they
a way.
change it to like a double team, right? Instead of like three people?
Yes, and I
I
actually
didn't.
prefer the
We
two
don't mind that.
man.
We don't mind that
I
part.
don't know.
I,
I
I
don't.
actually I actually prefer it because it reminds me of Capcom versus SNK.
And Capcom, Marvel versus
Uh,
Capcom, the original.
yeah. It sort of goes back to the basics of Marvel versus Capcom because I actually didn't like it when Marvel versus Capcom 2 went to 3v3
Hmm.
I liked
personally.
it. I liked it.
Well, the problem there is I didn't like it because it sort of complicates the entire matchup. It's like i what happens there is basically you pick one anchor character, one probably one secondary character who's your backup, and then one
Yeah, assist.
throwaway
Assist
character.
spam.
Throwaway
Yeah,
character.
yung with the good assist. Yung assist
Yeah,
spammer.
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like
well, sorry, go ahead.
no, so it's like I wasn't a big fan of how the meta developed for Marvel versus Capcom 3 because the 3v3 format is a bit too messy just for to make it like a real sort of
I liked it.
I mean it's fine. Like it's fine but it's messy. So
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna disagree with you that it's not messy. It's super messy.
yeah.
But the thing is, if you want like clean gameplay, they have Street Fighter for that stuff.
Well, I
You
mean
know, they have their
that's why we have that's why I was pretty happy with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite when they went back to two
2v2.
2v2.
I thought it was
That's
just
just
graphical constraints. Dahil
well, well, yeah. I won't argue that that it was a bit of a mess graphical, like in terms of art direction. But other than that, because you've got during the time that uh, like over the course of like the past few years, because there was like the two Resident Evil Revelations, which was pretty good. So
those are really good. Yep.
yeah, it's like
Nobody talks about them though for some weird reason.
see, that's the problem, right? Like you've got Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 that came out between what 5 and 7.
Mhm.
So it's like everyone's complaining about Resident Evil 6, like how it's like terrible, it's ruined the franchise. Like, whoa, this is bad. Like, okay, first off, it's not that bad. I actually liked it. I actually bought it
Yeah, we
twice.
love
But
it.
then, but then you've also got Resident Evil Revelations
But
1
in
and 2.
your own admission, you have questionable taste.
Not really.
No, no, no.
The thing here is we're solid Resident Evil fans, so we saw the progression of the characters from being a normal person to being badass. So being an action game at 6, we could accept that because
Yeah,
Basically, they're
because four,
badasses already by that time.
right, three started the whole
Yeah.
action direction of Resident Evil. It's like you can
I actually
trace
don't
that
mind
in.
it.
Hmm?
I actually
Yeah,
don't mind the whole action thing because I mean, if you think about it, really, it is an action game. You
yeah,
know, it was
exactly.
so
Right.
weird to there's survivor, so survival elements, but it's really if you look at it deep down, it's an action game. So it's weird for me to hear people complain that it's an action game because
And
it's
yeah,
like
and here's
it's
the
always been an
thing.
action
Here's
game.
the other thing. Devil May Cry was actually supposed to be Resident Evil 4.
Oh, thank
So
God that didn't happen.
yeah, but that was the original idea.
Yeah,
But instead
that's
of
why
yeah, they
that's why
just
Devil
had
May Cry 1 has that weird ass lock on thing.
yeah.
Control
It's a
scheme.
yeah, it's a holdover from Resident.
So I didn't
And they
mind
still kept it.
Devil May Cry using the RE engine because it was supposed to be an RE game in the first place.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's a great engine. I'm actually glad that they moved over. I wish they did Monster Hunter with the RE engine instead of the NT
I have
engine.
a thing with the RE engine. It's kind of like a Frostbite for me, but Frostbite that works.
Which engine is Frostbite that works?
EA.
Well, the
RE engine.
the
RE
the
engine.
RE
The
engine.
RE. Oh, you
Yeah.
don't like the RE engine?
I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like.
Really?
But
They do. I like the faces, the way they do faces.
that's exactly
That
the
he
problem.
doesn't like it.
I
Yeah.
don't like their
Really?
faces. If their
Mm,
faces are neutral, it looks great. But if it starts bending when they start talking, I don't
it
know.
looks
There's
weird.
something wrong with it. Yeah, maybe it's
No, I
just
agree.
me.
No,
Maybe
I
it's just
agree with
me.
you. I mean, no, V's face looks weird.
Yeah. I know it looks realistic, but there are certain curves or muscle contractions that I don't like. So I
Yeah,
don't
you're.
know. It's just me.
No, you're
Anyway,
not.
another thing I want to mention about Capcom is they should release Lost Planet 2 on Switch.
Oh yeah.
It's just my personal opinion. I
Lost.
love that
Yeah.
game. I won't
Lost
stop
Planet.
playing it.
Yeah. Lost Planet 2 would be perfect on the Switch.
Yeah, it's a
Actually,
multiplayer game.
I want. Actually, I think that Lost Planet 2 would probably find it's a more receptive audience if they re-released it now,
Yeah.
and then they sort of drummed up the co-op aspect of because that game had some really great co-op moments.
Yeah, I love it.
Like the train, like
Oh
the
yeah,
train sequence. Like
that's
oh
the
wow,
best
yeah,
part.
yeah,
And everybody has to work together to make it work,
yeah.
which is
It's like
the part I love most.
yeah, one guy, one guy has to aim, one guy has to fire, then two
One guy
guys
has to
have keep
reload,
loading. Yeah,
and when the engine's on fire, some guy was supposed to go down and put out the fire, and that's actually great co-op.
it's fantastic. Like it's extreme. It's an underappreciated
Yeah.
gem. So yeah, more Lost Planet 2, please. Please, Capcom, please.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Anyway,
well-
that's why I'm not much on Capcom
Which
right now.
sucks. Which sucks.
But
You know,
I
'cause they
like that
should
they're
take new
releasing
risks,
Dragon's Dogma on Switch. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I told.
it's
That's what I was
kinda
saying. I was saying pounds. At least they're releasing Dragon's Dogma on Switch.
Yeah. Oh, and what was the other one?
By the way, Monster Hunter uses TM framework. Is that correct?
MT framework. Yes.
MT
Yeah.
framework. It's not bad.
Which is not bad. Which is not bad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I wish they did RE.
But when they release
Just think
Street
about the
Fighter
monster, dude.
6, I'd rather they not use RE engine. I prefer them to have that anime look.
I don't know. Like if you play it on PC, it looks fine.
Mhm.
But
Which one?
Monster Hunter.
Mhm.
But if you play on console, yung age na it's starting to show up. And they just released a high texture, a high resolution texture pack.
Mm,
It's really good. Like if you play at 4K, it's really cool.
Well,
Pero,
ma-
pero like, ang pangit sa console. Like, I have a PS4 Pro.
mm,
People don't mind.
No, I know.
It's
It's
a, it's
still,
a big step forward compared to what you've got on 3DS. So yeah, it will surprise a lot of people. They won't notice the difference.
no, I mean, like,
we-
yeah, it still looks good. The monster look great. Pero yung, I don't know. I think it's starting to show the NT framework engine is starting to show its
I don't
age.
mind it.
mm,
But you know,
No,
it's my opinion. That's my opinion.
I don't know. Me personally, I have to agree with Cal because
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I've avoided Monster Hunter games
Mhm.
up until the release of Monster Hunter World
Mhm.
is because I didn't like how it looked.
Yeah,
well, yeah, because the up to that point, the only HD version was
Monster Hunter
Try
Try. Yeah.
Try Ultimate on Wii
Hmm.
U and Monster Hunter Online on
Yeah, Monster Hunter
X
Online. Although
on
Monster
PC
Hunter
and Xbox.
Online, the Chinese one, is that the one?
Yep,
Yeah,
the
the
Taiwanese.
Chinese one kind of fixed it. In some way, it looks closer to World compared to the normal TM framework
Yeah,
games.
it's just that you have to understand Mandarin to play it.
Yeah, that's the only problem with it.
Which sucks.
But other than that,
Not for the not for the Chinese.
actually,
Yeah.
the reason I played Monster Hunter was because of Mike. He kept
I remember
forcing
he
me to
played that
play
back in the
Monster
day.
Hunter, so I didn't find any interest in playing that game in the first place. But he kept bothering me. You better play this game. It's awesome. Okay, I'll try it.
You
And I
think he plays
tried it
World?
on the PSP. No, Monster Hunter in general. So I tried it on the PSP. I didn't like it. Then it went
Surprise,
to
surprise.
yeah. So and it went to the Wii version, the try. That's the part where I started liking it. So maybe it's got something to do with the big screen. I think I like playing Monster Hunter on a bigger screen.
For for me for me it's the opposite. I've always thought of Monster Hunter as a portable
Portable.
system because when I was first exposed to, I was in Taiwan,
Mhm.
and people there were like taking their PSPs, hanging out in the train stations, in the malls. They were all just huddling around,
Mhm.
and for me, that social aspect of
Not
it is
because
what
they're poor.
defines. Hmm?
Not because they're poor. They're not huddling around
Go.
because they're not poor.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's racist.
Huddling around the dumpster fire? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh man, it's the mall.
Pero that was also the time when handhelds were kind of like on a rise, diba?
Speaking,
Yep.
yeah.
Not well. That wasn't. I
Sa
wouldn't
age na?
say so. It was no, because when you went into video game stores, they were still pushing the PS3 and the 360. So it's not like there was no market for dedicated consoles.
But yeah, I think it was popular in those countries. You know,
Yeah,
you laugh
Be-
about it and joke about it because people don't have money for a PS3 or you know for a full console or like a TV that can do
mm,
720p. You know,
Right, pero
no.
it's still about yung local co-op niya.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So
yeah,
which handhelds would have a really great advantage.
yeah. Exactly. Like it's not that it was popular because it was on the PSP. It was the PSP was popular because of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It's like
I
it was
think
the
people are just poor,
That's
man.
actually a good point.
come on, man.
They didn't have
Taiwan.
money, and that's
This
why
was
it's
Taipei.
popular.
This was Taipei, man. This was Taiwan, and it was the same in Japan.
No, actually, Taiwan is a really rich country. Or I'm just joking, by the way.
No,
Hey,
but
man, they have Nvidia is in Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
pretty much
Right.
every PC manufacturer is in Taiwan.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah, and
exactly. Except
they're
for
actually I
Foxconn.
think it's their
They're in
first
China.
world country. So
Well,
or second
I don't
world.
know.
their status as a country is kind of
Yeah, that's
Somewhere.
if you live in America, then there's no Taiwan.
Well, technically,
One, you
there
know,
is and isn't.
Yeah,
one
based
China
on their
policy and another crowd.
based on the relation with China. That
Yep,
will
exactly.
depend.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, by the way, but whatever.
Well,
They
yeah,
have elections, but hey,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, what can you do?
Anyway, Capcom. Well, let's say they've been nailing their games pretty well. The Resident Evil 2 that they released recently was pretty good.
yeah,
Uh,
pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good.
Yep, it was
Yeah,
damn good.
I
Oh
keep
yeah, yeah.
playing it a lot.
Have you seen
Yeah.
the mods? Some of the mods, the PC mods that people are making for these things.
Thomas the Train, Mr.
Huh?
X as Thomas the Train. That's
Yeah,
the
Mr.
best
X,
mod
Thomas
I've
the Train.
seen.
I think
The,
And then
the recent one I saw was Mr. X in a boxer
a thong,
brief. Yep,
a thong,
like
right?
a
yeah,
like a
thong.
stripper thong.
Yep. Tapos meron nga yung sa DMX, yung
Yeah,
X
yeah.
gonna give it to
X
you. That was
God give it to you. God give
Yep.
it to you. Yeah, I think
And
that
there's
was
actually another mod that
Yeah.
all zombies are now Mr. X. So yeah,
Wow.
let's try moving
Ayun.
there.
Ayun, Dark Souls in Resident Evil.
You'll
Tapos
never
I
win.
don't know. There's actually a lot of high quality mods where they change the clothes.
Yeah.
Like they turn Claire into like a stripper.
Of
You know.
course.
Like
There's always a
uh,
naked mod as well.
but they're really good though. That's the funny thing. It's like wow, it's really good.
Naked
Meron
Ada
pati,
Wong.
pati si Leon meron din.
Yeah. Anyway, what
Yeah.
other games have they released recently? Devil May Cry. Yeah.
Devil
That's
May
a
Cry 5
pretty good
and
game.
the Capcom beat 'em up bundle.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
is also
Yeah,
nice.
that was
And then-
really good.
The thing
then-
I'm still wondering why is the Disney Afternoon Collection. It's still not coming out on Switch. It's freaking NES games. Why is it not on a Nintendo console?
My guess is because it depends on who ported it. So I think it was
Digital Realms? I mean,
Digital
Digital Eclipse. The
Yep,
thing
so
here
they
is when people started port begging with Digital Eclipse, they said ask Capcom. So I
say
think
port
the
begging?
decision is with Capcom.
the decision and the budget is with Capcom.
Yeah,
So
so I think
that's
it's still on Capcom.
You think-
yeah, I'm not saying it's not on Capcom. I'm just saying it depends on the budget.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that the what do you call this, the demand that Capcom saw for the afternoon collection was probably not high enough to sort of in persuade them to put it on Switch.
Wait,
Probably
did
not high
Capcom-
enough because they released it on the wrong consoles.
Yung Capcom beat 'em up bundle, does that have Cadillac and dinosaurs?
Nope.
What
Because you need the
fuck?
Malibu Comics license for that, which is with
Yeah.
Marvel, I think.
Yeah,
But that's
that's
their
the
best
same
beat 'em up.
problem with Alien versus Predator. It's a license nightmare, so
By
they
Fox.
can't release
Fox
it.
has the license, right?
Fox.
Which means it's with DC.
Who
No,
else?
for Aliens.
For Aliens, right?
Aliens also have Fox is also with Aliens, but there was another factor other than Fox and Capcom. There was another.
Yeah. They suck
It's
as
all
a
with Disney
company.
now.
Yeah, so it's actually
all-
licensing nightmare. So they're
But it's
not
all with
doing
Disney
it.
now.
They're not going through that.
But it's
That
all with
sucks,
Disney now.
man. That's such a good beat 'em up.
Well, basically it's the same with Anthem.
Take what you can get.
Anthem
take what you-
actually used to be named Beyond. That's
Beyond,
their
yep.
original
Beyond Two
title.
Souls.
But
Beyond.
apparently,
But they couldn't because of licensing.
yeah, exactly. And
trademark of
so, yeah, they just said, fuck it, let's just call it Anthem. It's not even
Yeah.
related to the game.
And I'm starting to question BioWare's naming naming
They have a
naming technique.
they have a hat and then you put your
Uh,
if you're an employee, you put your suggestion there, and then at the end of the day, the GM farts on it, and whichever is the smelliest, that's the winning.
Uh, you know the world in Dragon Age. The world that they have in Dragon Age, the setting is called Thedas, right?
Westeros.
No, it's called Thedas.
I know.
Thedas, Thedas.
Yeah.
You know why it's
Say
called
that.
Thedas? Yeah, you know why it's called Thedas?
Why?
Because it stands for the Dragon Age setting.
Great.
oh shit!
So
What?
I just ruined Dragon Age for.
No.
Does Dragon Age have actual dragons with AIDS?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
No, pero
Oh.
going back to Anthem, I mean, they even if they picked the name from a hat, they did the lore to kind of fit it anyway, kasi the world was created through sound,
You
like a
know,
song, or
you know
Oh,
which
what
is where
world
the
was
Anthem
created
got.
through sound?
what?
You know where they ripped that off from, right?
What?
Tales of the Abyss?
No, that's freaking Narnia.
Narnia.
Yeah, that's how the
Oh,
world got
right.
created.
The
Hmm.
world was created due to sound.
With music,
Oh,
by
okay.
music.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah, by
Okay.
music.
Oh,
And then
good old
they
Narnia.
also had like I don't know if they call it the Anthem of Creation, but it's like
It is
something
Anthem
similar
of
to that.
Creation.
So Narnia?
Oh, not
No, no,
Narnia. No.
not
No, they
Narnia.
had like something very similar to that. Like
Okay.
the Song of the Dawn or something like that, where it's like it's basically they play the song, this melody, and then it basically birthed the whole universe of Narnia.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Yep.
That
Narnia.
Anthem situation
The
right
good old
now,
Sekai.
really bad.
Yep.
Oh, it's really
Narnia.
bad after that press release from Kotaku.
Yeah.
Which one? About the working conditions?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And then they're saying like, "Don't talk to the press." Are you kidding me? See,
It's like,
you know
okay.
what? This is what I'm saying. It's like people, yeah, Bioware, but the original people, founders of Bioware, they left a long time.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they got bought up. They got picked up by EA. You know,
Yep.
if you have like a sandwich and you dip it in the toilet, it's not gonna be a sandwich anymore.
Well, it's still a sandwich with toilet water.
It's a bad sandwich, but
It's a bad sandwich, but it's still a sandwich. A
That's
rotten
kinda
sandwich is still a
they
sandwich.
were, and that's what the current developers are the ones who are still there,
Mhm.
complaining about. Because BioWare before the EA picked it up was a team of really really talented developers, like a tight knit set of developers. Kaso when they switch over to EA, nag-aalisan na sila. One by one, nag-aalisan na sila, and they're just filling it up. So it's
It's
not
not the same company.
Bioware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, just look at Mass Effect Andromeda. That was like a shit game. Like seriously, how can you tell me that the same company who made this can make like
yeah, it's
a good
not the
game?
original
Dragon
BioWare.
Age Inquisition. That's how I
Well, that
can
one
prove.
that was
That's
good,
how I can
but
prove.
yeah, but people, like he said, a lot of people left. You know,
Yeah, after
because
Inquisition.
they didn't. Because what happened was like the Inquisition didn't make enough money.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So
Inquisition also used what do you
Frostbite.
call this? Frostbite.
Frostbite.
They were
a good
forced to
game.
use Frostbite.
Yeah, everything,
Yeah,
everything
everything.
everything EA owns has to use a Frostbite engine.
Which
Yeah.
sucks.
That, I always wondered about that because they also own Criterion. Why didn't they just use their renderware engine instead of Frostbite?
And I just realized they made Criterion, the game company. They made them do Battlefield. Why would you do that?
Because
That's so weird. That's so weird.
Duh, explosions.
But it's so weird. I mean, like seriously, you got one of the best racing developers.
Developers? No,
Yeah.
no. I don't think they're the best racing. One of
No,
the
I'm
best
saying
racing.
I'm saying one of.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're one of the best.
I think they're one of the
Fighting
best
games.
engine developers around. but I wouldn't say that
I
racing
don't know,
games
man.
are
They made some pretty good racing games, as far as
Burnout
I'm.
3 and Burnout 3 and Burnout 3.
Well, with that, with that's still pretty. I don't know. You didn't like their Need for Speed stuff?
Yeah.
Not as good as Burnout 3.
Burnout
Well,
3 is the best.
No, Burnout is it's a special case. It's like
Yeah, it's like
it's a special case. It's one of those
it's like
games where you
dice.
make. No, it's one of those games where you make. It's like the game. It's a game, a career making game. You make it,
Yeah.
and anything you make, like Witcher 3. I'll be surprised if Cyberpunk is gonna be as good as Witcher 3. I'd be surprised, really.
Well,
I'm hoping
I
it'll be as good
well
or
I
better.
was I was hoping that Witcher 3 would be as good as Witcher 2, but what I got was something better than Witcher 2.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is really good, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's one of those things. That,
Well, I
like
think of,
BioWare. Like, just
I
think about BioWare.
consider yeah, well I consider Criterion similar to how I consider Dice, because with Dice I can respect the technical aspects of the engine that they do. Like their technical skills are pretty good. But the only game that I really liked from Dice was Mirror's Edge, the first one.
Right.
Bad Company
Mhm.
2. I like Bad Company 2.
Okay. Well, I have that on my Xbox. I haven't played it yet, so I've been meaning to try it.
Bad Company 2?
Yeah.
It's a great multiplayer game. If you buy it on PC, there's people still playing it. That's how good it is.
I can't play it on PC
Oh, why?
because it doesn't have controller support.
Controller guy speaking.
No, well, let's see how you react when you start getting carpal tunnel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Carpal tunnel.
No, that's
Th-
why
that explains
that's
a
why I
lot.
play Diablo on a console.
That's exactly why I play Diablo on a console.
Yep. It's exactly, it's
It-
getting old. I'll be 40
Yeah.
soon, so
I'm. That's why and I guess this is when I always bring up like PC gamers are like, oh, the best thing about the PC is that you get all this flexibility. Okay, does this game have controller support? Why do you want to use controller?
Get keyboard and mouse. On a
I
fighting
thought
game.
I I thought the whole point was flexibility. Nah, screw your controllers. Keyboard mouse is the best. Yeah,
PC
screw you
Master
I
Race.
guys.
play Street Fighter with my Logitech.
With my, I'm gonna steer with my eyeballs.
Hey cow, look! I'm steering with my eyeballs. Best cartoon
Have you actually,
ever.
alam mo ba yung Korean Dungeon and Fighter?
Huh?
The what?
Korean KDNF, Dungeon Fighter Online.
I've
I've heard of
seen
it.
it. Yeah.
So it's like it's an online beat 'em up, right? Since we were talking
Yeah.
beat 'em up.
Hmm.
And para siyang MMO style. It was really popular in the Philippines before I left.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
Not that popular. I'm not playing it. It's like those restaurants in the side, best tapa in town. But why haven't I heard of this?
You're funny.
Well, then that's
yeah,
one
it's
thing
very
I could say
popular restaurant.
about the Appenzeller. Yeah, they're in Alabang. They said they're the best schnitzel in town, but they're the only schnitzel in town. So
Well, so by default,
by
yes.
default, they are the best
They're
ones.
they're not lying.
They're not lying.
Exactly. You're not lying. More can say from some people.
So anyway, back to Capcom. Anyway, I've got a few facts on Capcom. Did you guys know that the source code of Resident Evil was based on Goof Troop?
Oh yes,
Thanks to Goof Troop.
Goof Troop,
Goof Troop.
Goofy.
Disney property.
Disney property.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
because
That is.
Shinji Mikami was actually the programmer for
Goofy.
Aladdin
Yep.
and Goof Troop, the game for Super NES. And the first concept of Resident Evil was actually a remake of Sweet Home, which was actually the very first survival horror game ever released with that genre. So if you thought Alone in the Dark was the first one, nope, it's not. It's Sweet Home.
Yep. Sweet Home was a NES game, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a Famicom game.
Only
Never
Yep.
released in the
only in Japan,
US.
I think.
Yeah, only in
Which is
Japan. I only
if
saw
you
the
played
movie.
first
I've
party,
never played the game. The
if
movie
you
was
if you've seen
so.
first party, it's similar, right?
Yeah, so basically, when I found that fact, I actually was thinking if that part where in Resident Evil where they got in the mansion and where's Chris? Uh, Wait, don't open that door. But Chris is ow! That's what is that?
Yuck.
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 He's
Hey,
our
Chris.
partner. Yuck. I'll go with Jill.
Yuck. Jill, it might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Oh, yuck. So yeah, that's a pretty fun thing to think about. It started with Goof
Yeah.
Troop, Shinji Mikami.
Hmm.
Then the rights, actually, the next guy that was supposed to make Resident Evil was actually passed over to who's the guy in Platinum?
Hideki Kamiya.
Kamiya, yeah. But Kamiya made his own game, which was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, turned into Devil May Cry. Which also brings the fact that Capcom don't promote their other studios that well. Because I'm talking about Clover Studio. Studio Clover.
That game is such a
Uh,
that studio is such a good studio.
Yeah,
They make
Well,
it's actually
it's
a
got-
waste. But
Well, they're platinum now. So
and I think I can't blame Capcom regarding that. I blame the gamers for not buying their products.
Well, yeah. That's, at the end of the day, that
At the end of the day, I think I could blame the gamers
vote with
for
your
that
wallet.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to vote with your wallet.
So,
stop buying Call of
it's
Duty.
kind of waste. I wanted a
every
sequel
year.
to what do you call this? God Hand.
yeah.
Or near Automata.
God Hand.
But-
That's a game, not Dark Souls. God Hand.
Godhead doesn't need an easy mode
Yeah.
because you can make it an easy mode because you can activate easy mode on your own.
You can activate easy
Onigai
mode if you
shimasu.
apologize.
We're not Alexander.
And it's got the best lines ever. What a sexy man. Just my type. That's the best lines I've ever heard. Or, what do you call this? So, you're called the God Hand. That's rich. Best
Danny
characters.
You on a tight budget, big guy? You know what? I'm feeling hungry.
Here's the thing. I've always thought of a beat 'em up where you can customize the moves. Actually, God Hand did that for me, which is why I still love God Hand up till this day. So it's kind of a waste.
Maybe they'll re-release it in HD.
Yeah, make
I
a new
doubt it.
game. Unless they're gonna use RE Engine on it. I don't know.
I'll only buy God Hand again if IGN gives it a 3 out of 10 again.
Oh yeah, if it's a 3 out of 10, it's a must buy. Imagine babies.
IGN.
8 out of
Do you-
10.
Do you remember when they got caught for like I think it's a few times already when they got caught copying someone else's homework, basically.
No.
Yeah.
The guy Philip. I'm actually a follower of that guy. He actually took a lot. So it's more
Wasn't
on
it just
that
last
guy.
year?
Yeah. It's more on that guy than IGN. But it's also
Yeah,
the problem
he
of
was-
IGN because they did not
They did not check.
check.
Read it.
They didn't double check his work. Although he
Yeah.
was actually the editor. So I don't think
Yeah.
it goes through an editor
He was
because
the
he
boss.
is the editor.
He was
So
the boss.
that is on IGN though. If you're an
Yeah,
editor,
it's
that
it's
is on you.
somewhat.
yeah,
Their
they,
responsibility.
they got him just fairly recently at that point.
Yeah,
And
because he's
then-
actually a good video editor. That's the reason why he got accepted in IGN. But apparently his articles are ripped off from someone else. But he's still a good editor. good video editor.
He's a good editor. He's just not a good creator.
Yeah.
Let's put it at it.
Yeah. That's a better way of putting it.
I don't know. Parang it's hard to take any of these, video publications seriously. It's like
Yeah, I still miss the days when you still had to buy a magazine just to know the new news in video games.
yeah,
Jeez.
we should have our own website.
We have
If you
a
go to
blog
GameStop,
site.
you can still subscribe to Game.
I don't like Game Informer. I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't like Game.
I don't like them, but you don't have any other choice.
Yeah,
The other
like,
choice you have,
they're like,
which
oh
is-
yeah, we're the #1 video game magazine.
You're the only
well,
video game magazine now.
Yeah, and
Well-
you're free. You're freaking free with a subscription from GameStop. Are you serious?
well, Edge is still there. The problem with Edge is that Edge expensive.
Oh, I thought Edge closed Shutter. I thought Edge closed down.
Nope.
Still alive.
Really?
It was another.
You know what? I actually like Eurogamer. That they remind me a lot of Edge.
Because they're European.
I don't know, just the
Edge
like
is
same
European.
smart writing.
Yeah. I think
You know?
the one thing I like about European sites, gaming sites in general, is that they also focus on articles a lot, because it's not just like reviews, previews, news, or whatever, or opinions. They also like feature like in-depth articles on let's say
Actual journalism.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Actual journalism.
Exactly.
Best explanation. Best description on it. Anyway,
like
another news that came out: Starlink Battle of Atlas didn't meet the sales expectation, which is not
Surprise,
much of a
surprise.
surprise.
I know. right?
Anyway, Toys to Life is dead. So
Oh,
there you
by
go.
the way, I'm from the future. Google Stadia fails. They didn't make the. They didn't
oh,
make
by the way,
uh,
did you know the news about
quota.
Persona 5S? It's for Persona 5 Stadia.
Yeah.
My
I,
goodness.
I, I would cry like bloody tears if that happened.
Persona
Bloody
5
tears.
smartphone.
That would be too bad, actually.
Persona 5 smartphone.
Have you seen that yung Final Fantasy 15 smartphone version?
At
15? The Pocket Edition.
the pocket edition.
Yeah, the super deformed.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep, yep.
I actually like that.
Kiss.
Actually,
I wonder how they drain the emo from it, or it's still very emo. I haven't tried it.
well, they pretty much cut a lot of the story out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so actually, what I've seen people recommend is that it's something that you can try if you want to revisit the story without necessarily having to go through the entire game, because it hits the important plot points. But then,
Before
Like-
or watching all the movies and
Yeah.
anime.
yeah, the problem is like you you sort of like lose out on if that was your first experience of 15, you sort of lose out on a lot of the fancy schmancy cutscenes.
Well, the funny thing with Final Fantasy 15, if the game was your first experience with Final Fantasy 15, you'd lose out on a lot of the story.
On a lot.
elements.
Rep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
a
you
lot.
have the King's Day and the Brotherhood anime.
Yep.
Actually,
which is
I like the
funny.
Brotherhood anime.
No, they're good. They're good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just you have to forget.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that sort of puts into perspective like how expensive 15 was for Square.
Did
it's
they
like-
make money on that thing?
I think by
Or
now
is it like
maybe
Final
not.
Fantasy Spirits Within?
Well, they're not yet going on under thanks to Dragon Quest. Like Dragon Quest
I
is
know,
still
right?
making money for them.
Isn't that like the best purchase they've ever made? Like seriously,
No. Technically, Enix bought Square.
Oh, not the other way
It's
around.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they did the merger, like Enix shares were valued higher.
Oh,
So
Oh wow.
so
it should be
basically,
Enix Square.
it
Shouldn't
doesn't
be
sound
Square
right.
Enix then.
Yeah, but I would think that the shareholders wanted Square first because Square was the one with more international recognition.
Even though they weren't making money.
You know how it is. Marketing, image is everything.
I think it's like Bandai Namco. Who bought the other company?
Oh yeah, it's like that. But
I think
Bandai
Bandai
Namco is
bought
Namco
even more
bought
Namco?
interesting.
Bandai, but Bandai still first. Something like that.
Well, depending on where you are, Namco could go first, or that Bandai could go first.
Hmm.
So I think the holding company is Bandai Namco, but the game developer is Namco Bandai. I don't
Hmm.
know. That's a
That's
whole
weird.
other kettle of fish.
Yeah, I still remember when back in the Super Famicom, there were Namco games and there were Namcot games. So that kind of confused the heck out of me. But eh, it's still under Namco.
Namco.
Namco. Soul Calibur. Okay, so the other one that actually confused a lot of people, since Labo isn't actually that much of a mainstream thing, Labo VR was actually announced
Surprise, surprise.
as of recently. Then they announced that Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda is compatible with Labo VR. So yeah, that
Which is
that
great.
confused a lot of people.
No, no.
I think that's
So
great.
yeah, the thing that surprised me there was that okay, Mario Odyssey, they made certain new areas. Like
Mhm.
there are only specific areas which are Labo VR compatible, which okay makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like you can only access Labo VR from these
Yeah,
places,
but
but
Legend of
the
Zelda, the
entire
whole
Breath of the
game.
Wild in VR, it's like what the heck is Nintendo smoking? It's like
Yeah,
when I
and
learned
can I
that
have some of that?
Nintendo Weed.
that was like when that happened, that was like I pretty much had the same reaction when I learned that Microsoft would be doing backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. It's like, how in the heck did they do that?
Witchcraft.
Or when they ported Doom and Wolfenstein to the Switch.
Yeah,
Diablo
that's
3,
panic
Yeah,
Diablo
button
2,
witchcraft. Switchcraft.
Warframe. They did a really good job. Like
Yeah.
the funny thing, we're doing this podcast and I've been playing Warframe on the Switch
Yeah,
the whole
Warframe was
time.
actually being ported really well in the
I
Switch.
know. Did you try it?
Yeah,
yes,
Good, right? Super
yeah.
good on the Switch. It's crazy.
yes.
It's crazy. If you go to like one of the open areas, it's crazy. Like, and if you play the
Uh,
PC and you see how much information they got, it's crazy. Fidelity, it's
yeah.
crazy.
I've only
Crazy.
got the PS4 version to as a frame of reference, but even then, like once I got to that early part where you're trying to escape, like right before you enter your ship for the first time,
Mhm.
and then you go on your first mission, it's like, wow, this is like I don't know what those guys at Panic Button are smoking, but I'd like some of these.
Yeah, they did a really good job. And then the great thing about that though, they'll always have uh, work because sila na yung in charge of
The Switch version.
yeah, the Switch version. I don't know if you call it
Bethesda
localization or
stuff, to
whatever,
be exact.
but yeah, it's like it's really good.
So hopefully
Like
they won't go out of business or anything.
no, there I don't think so.
I
You
don't
know,
think
Warframe
so.
is pretty
Well,
healthy too. It's
well,
a healthy
uh,
company. Just from
yeah,
them, they
and after what they did with Doom and Wolfenstein, like there's gotta be tons of publishers
oh
knocking
yeah,
on their door.
for sure. Tsaka, just even like Warframe, I'm like I don't mean to like keep bringing this up, but he did a really good job.
Yeah.
And Warframe is like there's a lot of content there, and it's all here in your Switch, and you can take it with you wherever you want. It's crazy.
Especially if
It's just crazy.
your phone can tether to the Switch, you can play Warframe online anywhere, and it actually
Yeah.
works.
For about 1.5 hours, and then your
Mm,
battery
yeah,
dies.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
that's
or you
good.
reach your data cap.
yeah, data
Yeah.
cap. But for 50 pesos, I can have 1 gigabyte of data.
But let's just talk about you Warframe and their business model. That's a really good example of a business model where you don't have to monetize everything.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing I like
Yeah,
about
but
Warframe is you
yeah,
can progress without spending anything.
yeah, but the thing with Warframe, right, is that they've been at it like the first
Six
years
years.
of Warframe were like they that was a real slog for Digital Extremes.
Hmm.
It's like
Oh yeah.
they were trying to figure out how to keep players playing for those initial years, and it's like they were still trying to figure out how, like, what the play, like how the feel of the game would go. So that took a lot of work for them.
Right.
Yeah.
But they just kept at it. Tapos here we are now with the product that they.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but not. I'm saying that not everyone has that privilege.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you know what? I'm one of those people who actually supported them day one, and I spent like I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I
You
got
were
I got
playing Warframe before it was cool.
before it was cool, you know. But I'm
I
just
was
saying,
there
when,
before it was cool.
but it's like one of those. I'm not the only one. A lot of people like support this game.
Yeah.
Made it into
Oh
what
yeah,
it is now because when you initially play the game, felt something special. Something different.
You know why
You
Warframe
know
is good?
why?
Ninjas.
Space Ninja robots.
Space ninjas.
Yeah, that's good
Even
too. They
better.
you know they have a good art style.
Yeah.
They have a good concept.
uh, it's all right. But
I
I
like
think
the art style.
I think that's my one major complaint with Warframe. It's not the art style is all right. It's not unique in any sort of way, but like it's solid, but it's just all right
Yeah.
for me.
Well,
Not
you
that
have to think
unique.
about it this way. It's like they have to make this game. It runs really well, even on shit PCs.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like yung art style niya, it's like it's like World of Warcraft. The texture outside is nice. But then you can tell that you know
It's showing its age.
yeah, it's showing its age. But the
Hmm.
great thing about this game though is constantly like they just released an update for like their first open world area, and it looks 10 times better.
It
The
it
new
it reminds me too much of Mass Effect,
Hmm.
and Mass Effect itself does reminds me a lot of like a high def Kotor in some ways. So it's like you know, it's like really if you're gonna do a sci-fi kind of game, it has to look a certain way.
like I said, I like it. Like I said,
Yeah,
I understand why they picked the art style because it ages well. You know,
yeah. It's just not.
they can.
It's not. It just. It's. I can understand that too, like why the technical reasons why they choose that art style is just not
Appealing to you.
artistic enough for me.
Yeah, what I mean, what, sino yung artist na yung that Korean artist who did Blade and Soul?
What's his name? Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, so
Whatever his
I
name
like the
is.
art style of that one, but but like I said, like I don't know if you played the MMO, that thing did not age well. But that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
they picked the art style for them, which they thought that even after 6 years, it still looks good. I don't know if
yeah, yeah.
you looked
Because it
at
still looks like Mass Effect.
no,
Hey,
I mean
people
like
are still
there's
playing
like
Ragnarok.
yeah, and there's
On
like
mobile.
porn, there's like Warframe porn. Can you believe that? There, there's
Yeah.
like
if
there's like
rule what
Rule
rule was that? Rule 30.
52 or so 32.
32.
I think 32 Or is that the one that you make a male, a female, and vice
No,
versa?
no, no. That's gender swap. That's rule 20. Well, whatever. But there's an internet rule that if anything exists, there must be porn of it.
That's funny.
So
No,
it's not
that's
super.
very true.
And also true.
Hey, if the mascot of Festival Mall, Pixie Forest, has um, a hentai on it, actually there was. That's
Really?
the funny part. So yeah, that rule actually
Uh,
is
How
true.
do you
Right.
know?
It's a true true blue rule. My goodness.
Si
Anyway,
Vince pala si ano, si
I
Umimaro.
just want to get this out of my chest because a lot of people are actually demanding achievements or trophies to be put on the Switch, which is something I'm not a fan of. But not because I'm a fan of it means doesn't have to happen. Here's the thing I think about the achievements or trophies, if you will. I think they're empty goals in the first place. You get nothing out of it, just bragging rights. And the thing here is, gamer score. Yeah, it makes you more competitive with your
I don't
the other
like gamer
guys.
score.
Yeah, the thing here with gamer score, I just noticed if you got more games than the other guy, you'll have a higher gamer score, more or less. So it
Well,
doesn't
that's why
work
they
that
have
way.
it.
Yeah, so the other thing here is I think it hurts gamers as well. So regarding that gamer score, so let's say you're just 1,000 points below the other guy, and you really need gamer score to beat this guy. You go to Walmart and buy from the Hannah Montana game that
Or you buy
you just play for
the
how
Burger
many
King game.
hours, and you get 1,000 gamer points. So I got 1,000 gamer points at what cost? $10.
Oh, my
It's a-
pride for playing Hannah Montana game.
So yeah, and the thing here is, it's kind of like a checklist because they're already exposing what you have to do in order to get that achievement. So it's kind of like a checklist, and my job is actually a quality assurance person, quality assurance specialist. I go through the checklists every day. I don't want a checklist in my video games. So that's another thing I don't like about achievements. So basically, achievements itself, I think the only thing I like about it is if it shows up without you knowing what you just did. So I
yeah.
think I prefer it
Right.
that way. Because it
Uh,
really feels like an
it's
achievement
also
if you don't know what it is.
it's also a form of spoilers
Yeah,
to some extent because you'll know if you just read through the achievement descriptions, you'll see, oh, I have to fight this boss.
yeah.
Who's this boss? Oh, it's this person here.
Exactly. And there are
Yeah.
times that it actually makes you do things that you won't want to do on a game. So you want to go to this light side, but there's also an achievement where you have to go to this dark side. So it's kind of like the developer telling you what to do. So it's not that fun. It's like let's say the developer knocks on your door. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Hey, chap, come here. I want you to kill your grandma and eat her liver. So what do I get out of that? Bragging rights. That's it. So I don't know. Making you do something negative to get you out of your
That's a very specific example,
yeah,
by the way.
yeah. So that's one of the things I don't like about achievements is because they make you do stuff that you don't normally do. It takes the fun out of your game. So I don't know. I think it hurts gamers in a way, but I can't really say it for all people. As a gamer myself, I don't follow achievements. If it happens, it happens. I won't go through that checklist.
It's like teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
Happens.
So yeah, basically, I don't know. Pakiramdam ko, greatness is achieved when you set your own goals. Not if someone sets it
Parang
for you.
PlayStation andun na. Achieve great.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
The thing here is, if someone sets a goal for you, It's called compliance. It's not greatness. So yeah,
Well,
I think achievements should be hidden, so it just surprises you if it happens. So
well,
yeah,
yeah. I get what you're saying,
yeah,
but my stand on it is that there are the all the things you're saying are achievements done wrongly.
yeah,
So
yeah. The thing here
so
is achievements before were actually pretty good, especially in the early days of Xbox. I love those
yeah, it's like
achievements. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that achievements on their own are not bad or good.
Hmm.
I but what I want to see is like more creative uses for achievements.
In a way.
Like there were some achievements where you were sort of nudged into trying something different. Um, so which is kind of like the opposite of what which kind of a tangent to what you were saying, where you're forced to do something that you don't want to do. But sometimes like the developer can also encourage you to try something different, um, like let's say for if I'm playing something like Dark Souls or Monster Hunter. Like if I'm playing something like Monster Hunter,
Hmm.
and because I'm a creature of habit, just stick to one weapon.
Yep, yep.
But then if the game sort of gives me achievements for trying out the different weapons, then that sort of encourages me in a way to try different weapons. And
Yeah, yeah,
who
that's
knows?
a positive way of thinking about it. Because basically,
Yeah,
there are achievements that do actually do you good, but
yeah,
as of recently, there's a lot that doesn't make sense.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah. As with most things, there can be good and bad examples of it. And um, uh, with your point about achievements being something that the developer forces you to do, that's what tutorials are. Tutorials are also kind of force you to do things.
Yeah,
have you
And
it's
have you guys played the first Bioshock?
what?
what
The first
Have you
Bioshock?
guys played?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Bioshock.
Have
have
you
played the
finished it?
first Bioshock, yes.
Did you finish it?
No, I did not. I did not
Uh,
like it.
do you want me? There's a really. It's funny to me that you're talking about that stuff. Pero do you mind if I spoil it? It's
Yeah,
been that
sure.
game's been
Yeah,
out for a
I don't
while.
plan to
So
It's
play
I
been
don't
it.
a
care.
decade.
Yeah, I don't care.
so it's funny because in a video game way, it's also very true. When you talk about it this way, really, that's what a game is, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
The developer of the game is basically forcing you to do stuff that uh, how the game works, how to finish the game, and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yung sa Bioshock, there's this part where, you're playing the game, right? And
Hmm.
you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow this objective. This is
Ah,
what I'm
is it
supposed to do.
if you
So
please?
yeah, so if you kindly, so apparently, yung sa story, it's like a kind of mind control, and it's a great parallel with video games. You say they put the objective in front of you and you blindly do it, regardless of consequences, regardless of morality,
Yeah,
because it's a video game. You just do it, right? And
yeah. That's kind of
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
interesting to me because that's kind of like, the way you're talking about it, like achievements, they seem like a type of mind control,
Yeah, in some
forcing you
way.
to play.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, forcing you to play a certain way,
Yeah,
forcing you to
that's the
try new
reason
things.
why the speedrunning community is better received than the completionist or the achievement hunters, because they
Uh,
do things that is not actually intentionally given in the video game. Like for example, Punch Out, but this streamer actually does it blindfolded. He tried to finish Punch Out blindfolded, as in that's nuts. So that's an
yeah.
achievement that
Oh,
no one can
oh,
actually pull off much.
yep.
But yeah,
There's
they
people who play Dark Souls in with the
with
Donkey
the dance
Konga.
pad. My God, someone
Yep,
finished
yep,
Dark Souls
yep,
with a dance
yep,
pad. That's
stuff like that.
greatness, man.
Yep. And you can't force that stuff, It's like,
Yeah, that's not something that a developer can force upon you. Although here's the thing, when if it's got something to do with a checklist, if it's got something to do with quests, I get something out of it, like a reward or something. Yeah, I could go through that. But as I've said, achievements for me specifically, it's empty goals. So I'm not a fan. If it happens, it happens. So I don't plan to complete them. So anyway,
You know what?
that's just my take on
No,
it.
I'm the same way. I don't really find achievements that like enticing.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
Like I have a single platinum trophy. I don't care
I
about
have.
my Guinness score.
I have.
You know,
Here's the thing. I also have a platinum trophy, but that game, I got a platinum trophy because I played through it. So
Yep.
not really. What game
that's
is
the
this?
good kind of achievements that I
Yeah,
like
what game is
because
this?
this is Hokuto
Ah, I got one for Virtue's Last Reward,
I got
which
one for
is big.
Daytona. Actually, there's one part in
Well,
Daytona that
Daytona doesn't have a platinum, right? But you can
in
get all the
Xbox. Yeah,
achievements.
yeah,
Yeah, you can
in
get
some
all the
way.
achievements.
There's one
Platinum
part.
trophy.
Actually, that was a fun achievement. Driving to a specific part of a stage. That's okay. I had fun with that
Yeah,
one because I never knew
yeah,
that existed.
yeah. The achievements there are basically based on the secrets that were from the arcade and from the Saturn. So it's kind of like a callback to the like if
Wait,
you're a
Mr.
retro
Yeah,
gamer.
those are good achievements. I'd agree with achievements if there were more of like that compared
But,
to what, like for example, what was that game in Infamous? Yeah, Infamous. The thing here with Infamous is I already did the light part. There's a trophy where you're supposed to be on a dark side, so
uh,
you'll have to do really evil stuff. The thing here is the balance system of Infamous is actually broken. Once you're on the good side, you can never go to the bad. It will
yep.
never go down. So you'll have to finish the whole game again. I don't like that. So I gave up on it.
Yeah, that's more on like one of those things that was done early.
Yeah, that's why I'm not into those kind of achievements. So if it's a really hard thing to do, I just prefer it to be incomplete. I'm not a
Yep.
completionist.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I can understand that because I'm not like an achievement hunter by any stretch of the imagination. But I I don't think. But I guess I'm just reiterating my point here. But
Hmm.
I don't think that achievements per se are bad
Mhm.
or good. It's how
Okay.
you implement them.
Right,
Yeah.
because if achievements are done right, I get for developers. I mean, one positive thing for them, well, for them is replayability.
Yeah,
Right,
replayability.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd agree
yeah,
with that one. Yeah.
because it increases the engagement of a player by like letting them like it gives them an incentive to like I said, like to try new things, try different things.
to get a sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah, so basically
That's
the reason I
yeah,
brought this up is the reason why I'm a Nintendo gamer in the first place. Because Nintendo does things that the others don't actually do. So if they follow with the achievements, it's
High
like
Online.
quality tester
oh,
games.
yeah. So
but they're
if they follow that format again, because Nintendo in the first place, uh, they didn't follow the what do you call this best system part, the more teraflop thing.
yeah, but you could argue that that Smash Brothers has achievements.
In some way. And
It's
here's the
like
thing:
it has.
Smash Brothers has achievements, but you get something out of it. So I'm actually doing those achievements, and I
You get
completed it.
trophies.
You get virtual trophies.
In a
So
way, you get coins. You get a new track from music track. That's the only
yeah,
thing you can do to unlock a certain music track. So yeah, I'm going through that one because you get something out of it. That's not the point I was giving earlier on the normal trophies that you see on PS4 and Xbox. Although Xbox does give you some sort of thing for your avatar, but
Oh
you
yeah,
don't need
like
to
some
complete
achievements.
everything. That's the kind of trophies I like or achievements I like. Something you
Yeah,
get for achieving that.
I
But
blame Sony. I blame Sony
Sony,
for this
there's nothing.
because Sony created the idea of the platinum trophy. Like
Yeah,
it's a trophy that you can only get if you earned all the other trophies. So like people are going crazy. Like I need to get all the other trophies to get
yeah.
this
That's
platinum
why.
trophy.
But
What do you
that's
get out
like
of that? Just bragging rights, nothing else.
But
no,
on
that's
the internet, bragging rights is everything.
It's currency. It's the currency of the internet.
yeah, currency along with
Anyway,
your supermodel girlfriend, right?
Right. Yeah, that's
That's
kind of
the
like your credit score.
your
Oh yeah.
street cred.
credit score.
How many trophies you got? Uh, sorry, can't party up with you. Your trophy level's too low. Gamer score's too low, man. Can't party up with you.
That's
Hardcore
funny, but
only.
you know what? That actually exists already in one phone.
Oh,
What?
true.
Yeah,
Like gamer score.
What? Like
Gamer
gamer score
score.
cred?
game
Like
score,
I
gamer
mean,
score.
not gamer score, not gamer score. Sorry, gear score.
gear score. What's
Gear
that
score in
for?
games. So in
No,
like stuff
for
like
if you're
Destiny
joining raids
or
or stuff, right?
yeah,
That's
World of
basically
Warcraft.
the
I mean,
same as
Destiny.
racism.
No, yeah,
No, but
people
no, but
will
isn't
literally
that
not play with you because your gear score is too low.
No, not
isn't that
racism. More of
isn't that
discrimination.
isn't that kind of like when you're doing a raid in an RPG and then your level's too low for this boss, so that's why people
Well,
don't want to party up with
yes,
you.
yes and no. Like for example, a raid, you have a required gear score of let's say 450, and people will
Okay.
put in their party finders like, oh, looking for group, gear score should be 500 plus,
Yep.
Mm.
but the requirement is only really 450.
But
No, no.
isn't that
If
also
it's got something to do with requirement, that's fine. It's like Monster Hunter, like Hunter rank. Only a certain Hunter rank can actually do this mission.
yeah?
Is it in system or is it the people
No,
itself?
no. It's more like I guess it's more like the people. But then
Like the people asking for a higher gear score
yeah,
requirement from
I,
you.
I, yeah. I think it's more like a raid. Like if you have a raid in an
Mm.
MMORPG where the minimum requirement for this quest would be level 50, for example. But like you'd probably have trouble with the dungeon itself unless you were at level 60. So people are looking for parties where you're level 65 and higher, just so the party members are sure that you won't just crash and
Be
burn
carried.
or
Yeah.
or go all Leroy Jenkins on dungeon.
Well,
So I don't know.
that's the thing. Those scores don't actually tell how good the person is. Because some people who earned those scores may have just been riding the wave. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, I don't agree with that one.
Well, because that's the requirement for the for the quest.
If it's
Yeah, they
systematically
actually
required, it's fine. I don't care. But if it's the people themselves that are actually discriminating against people with a lower score, that's wrong.
no, yeah, you can like I said, you can have the proper gear score and people will, still not accept you into their party
Yeah,
because they think that it's, when you're at that threshold, it's not good enough.
that's the thing I liked about Monster Hunter. Because people with the lower rank, we help them rank up so that they can join us with the main mission. I like the people in Monster Hunter better.
I
They're
think that's
nice.
yeah, but
That's a
because again,
community based. Yeah, that's
yeah,
That's the community itself.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I think that speaks more to the roots of Monster Hunter as a physical local multiplayer
Yep.
game more than anything.
Yeah. So yeah, I do agree. Monster Hunter should be a portable.
Well,
it's
technically, it's portable if you have a laptop.
yeah. And what the hell of a laptop it is.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I would really want a new Monster Hunter on Switch.
And which
Because-
brings us to the April Fool's shit that we experienced. Monster
Stupid
Hunter
Monster-
5.
I wanted to
Monster
kick
Hunter
someone.
5, you must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance.
But so it was like somebody leaked the announcement that there was going to be Monster Hunter Portable 5 on Switch. So in Japan, it's going to be Monster Hunter Portable 5, and then in the West, it's going to be Monster Hunter Victory. So I almost bought that because but then I started counting. Wait, this can't be Portable 5 because there was no portable. And I'm like, screw it. Oh man.
Check the
Stupid
calendar
emo.
first. That's why that announcement with VR, VR Labo, you had to check the calendar first.
Check the calendar,
But
man.
the funny thing is not even like if is that really a April Fool's joke? This sounds like something
Which one?
Nintendo would
The-
do. VR Labo.
Oh no,
No, that was
is
real.
legit. That is
Oh,
one.
okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. It can also pass for a joke.
I almost thought it did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I mean,
basically
seriously.
people were confused when they heard about
No,
it.
yeah, no. It's cardboard. You know, you put your $300 Switch on there, and it doesn't have like a I don't know, like a rope or
Nope,
something
it
you can
doesn't
tie
have
your
that.
hand
I
around.
don't know.
Yeah,
That's the
what I'm
job
saying.
of third parties. they'll make something.
Well,
Or your right
the whole
hand.
the whole point of that is because they don't want you playing VR for long periods of time.
Yeah.
'Cause you're supposed to
Uh-huh.
take breaks, right?
Sure. Sure.
Sure.
Sure. That's really one of the reasons. Sure.
Like that warning, don't sit
Too
close
the
to your TV while you're playing the game.
Yeah, and that we
I mean,
we thing
like
where don't swing it
how
around.
many games? Yeah, how many games on the Wii like remind you constantly to take a break every 30 minutes? So Nintendo being Nintendo, that's the explanation that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because remember,
Yeah, true.
because no matter what we say, Nintendo will still be a toy company.
Yep.
Yep, family first.
Family first. Investment
first.
scams.
Yeah, just
Family
yeah.
first, but let me borrow some money from some yakuza.
My goodness. Anyway, that's my take on the games as of now. Unless you guys want to, you have any other stuff you want to bring up?
Yeah, Dead or Alive 6 Core
Dead or Alive
Fighters
6.
available. Try it out if you want.
Yeah, I actually bought the whole game already. By the way,
Oh,
what's the price of season 1 there?
Season 1,
Season one
$92.
$92.
Until now.
Yep.
Then it's way cheaper here.
Of course it is.
It's 1,800 pesos.
Oh wow.
Which
For the
is
season pass?
Yeah,
30 it's like $35
yeah. So wow,
that's ridiculous.
for the entire season pass?
entire season pass, including my Shiranui, the
Wow.
wedding gown outfit shit stuff.
Uh,
It's
Wow.
way cheaper. That's why I was kind of surprised. It's 95 in the US.
Time to
well, the
double dip.
problem is
Double dip.
no. The problem is here. People actually pay for that shit.
Yeah.
$192.
Well, it depends on the kind of people. But yeah, I think
Whales.
of it, yeah, I
People
think of it like
Pao,
like
who will pay for that shit.
who pays for Candy Crush Saga, and yet it's earning how many billions?
Candy
Like who's
Crush.
paying for Fortnite V-Bucks, but
Rednecks.
Epic
man.
is like
Rednecks.
making.
But there's an actual study about that. They even hold like conventions or talks
Like
about it.
about whales?
You just have to right. Like it's actually a thing that they do when talking about how to create a mobile game or something.
Yeah.
Like you have to create a game that can target
Whales.
People
at
with
the very
addictive
least
personalities.
one out of 100 players who download it. If you get one whale out of 100, then you're set.
Yeah, that it's a numbers game. That's the whole model of a free to play game. It's a numbers game. Like
Yeah, I'm a whale in Warframe. I'm pretty sure.
Whale
yeah, exactly.
convention.
Like
I've spent like ridiculous amount to the game.
like in Dragalia Lost, I like spent like $23.
Oh, you actually spent?
Oh yeah, and I spent but I bought something just because I enjoyed the game so much.
Oh yeah, yeah. At least support it.
So it's like, yeah, I'll give you more money, Nintendo, even though you got tons of money from me. I'll give you even more money.
Yeah, if Nintendo actually fails a lot of projects, even if the Switch fails, they'll still be a
Which is
company.
never gonna happen.
No, but the thing I like about Nintendo is that even if something fails, they'll eventually remake. They'll learn from their failure.
That's why the thing that they said that Nintendo is back, they were never
Yeah, it's like
they didn't go anywhere in the first place. They were still
Yeah.
there. They were,
like what was the biggest the highest profile failure that Nintendo got was the Virtual Boy, and they eventually remade that. They didn't throw away the technology. They just kept improving it and improving it until we got the 3DS. And that was like
Nintendo Labo.
I was gonna say, did you mean Labo?
no, well, technically because the 3D the technology that they use for the Virtual Boy is basically just like stereoscopic 3D. There's no head tracking on the Virtual Boy, right? So, in a way, the direct descendant of that would be the 3DS.
by the way, Labo is not a failure. If you guys are thinking of that, because basically when I was actually in Hong Kong, everyone was buying it. It
Well,
surprised
it's
the
not
heck out of
failure.
me.
You know why?
And schools are buying it. That's one more thing.
You know why it's not a failure though?
Mhm.
When you pay $60 for a bunch of cardboard, that's not failing.
Oh, technically, it's not the cardboard. It's a game plus
It's
cardboard.
the game plus the cardboard.
Uh-huh. Would you pay $60 for sneaking from Burger King?
Nah,
Well,
it was
technically,
free.
games would come in cases.
Technically, it was free.
But if it came with cardboard boxes, would you pay $60 for that?
Hey,
Hey,
if it works.
some burgers come in boxes.
If sneaking was developed by Platinum Games, yes.
Yes. Hell yeah. Sneaking by Platinum Games. I could imagine it now. Combo system.
Combo. Oh man, I'm getting hungry.
Combo system.
Combo.
Fries plus drinks plus a burger, a Whopper. Double Whopper. Triple Whopper.
But yeah, when they announced that Breath of the Wild was gonna be VR compatible,
Yeah.
I was ready to pre-order the Labo VR kit.
Yeah, you can just actually buy the visor itself. You don't need to buy the others.
Yeah, the visor itself is like $40,
Yeah. So
but it's not yet out. Yeah, it's not. It's gonna be out at the end of this month.
Actually, I'm gonna get it as well. So there you
Yes,
go. And that announcement, I'm sure
Good job, Nintendo.
that's the one announcement that will make people buy that thing.
Yeah, good job, Nintendo.
Good job.
I have no idea what you're doing, but
Good
keep
job.
it up. Well,
Nobody knows what Nintendo's doing. Actually, the R&D, I don't know what their R&D is smoking all the time. Because basically they come up with real good shit. If it's not real good shit, it's real bad shit. But it still works.
Yeah, the funny thing here, right, is that usually Nintendo makes some like makes something new out of left field.
Yep.
But if you think about it, like you can like some of their left field ideas, or you can trace the lineage of it very like somewhat in a crisscross way to something that they already tried.
Yeah, so if it's something they
like,
already
yeah.
tried, probably there's going to be a Nintendo Hotel again or taxis or
Yeah, Because it's like the Virtual Boy and the 3DS.
Yeah,
It's like
they're
they,
connected.
yeah, they don't really throw away anything.
Yeah.
It's like and even with the Wii U, like they took what they learned from the Wii U, put it on the Switch, and then boom,
Boom.
boom. It's like
There you go.
yeah, but and then they have also Pokemon Go, which is earning what? How many billions? Like, I think it's earned like well,
Although Pokemon Go is
6
more
billion.
of Niantic.
Yeah, but it's
In a
earned
way.
six
No,
billion
it's
dollars.
not. It's not even Niantic, di ba? Oh wait, no, it's Niantic. Game
It's
Freak pala
Niantic
yung ano.
and Pokemon Company.
Yeah,
Which is
like
Nintendo, right?
well,
Um,
Nintendo is one of the shareholders of the Pokemon
Yeah.
Company is Nintendo Game Freaks and Creatures.
Yep.
Like they basically made a holding company for Pokemon. And Pokemon Go just surpassed $2.5 billion in revenue.
yeehaw.
Damn.
So and the
Yeah,
funny thing there is that if you combine all the sales, like all the revenue that Nintendo made from Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, that is nowhere near 2.5 billion.
And here's the funny part. Recently, I was in a P2P. There were. I'm not sure if they're tourists. There's two Japanese people. I know because the way they speak. This old man is actually
Crazy.
playing Pokemon Go with two cell phones, which is
Oh,
until now.
that's
So
yeah.
it's still
You mean that's not how you play it?
well. There's a grandfather in the U.S. that actually plays it with 15 phones. So
That's
I
from
think that's the
Taiwan.
right way.
That's grandfather from Taiwan, I think.
I thought it was from the U.S. It's Taiwan.
No,
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Taiwan
No,
is the
but-
first
but
world
either
country,
way, it's still
that's what we're
15
talking about
phones.
then.
My goodness.
you think Americans can buy 15 phones?
Hey, the iPhone's cheap there compared
No,
here.
it's not.
What?
No, it's not. It's cheaper, but it's not
Cheaper.
cheap.
It is not cheap.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Let me drop 1K on.
It's like, uh, uh, oh, that's actually one of the things I was surprised with when I got here to the States, that for all the supposed technical advancement of the United States compared to the Philippines, the cell phone market here really sucks. Like, it sucks balls. It's like
That's true.
so setting aside all the different uh, limitations that you get on your plans, on your data plans compared to what we have, like even the choice of cell phones, like if you buy an unlocked cell phone, like there's probably a 50% chance that it's not gonna work on the network that you have.
Really?
Right. No,
Yep.
kasi kind of like with AT&T, if you get a phone, like an unlocked phone, and you try to get a line with AT&T, they give you the micro SIM.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if you have the unlocked phone and you want to go with, let's say, Verizon, I think they use
CDMA, I think.
yeah, some sort of other, not a SIM, like an internal SIM
Oh my
for
goodness.
their
Like,
phones or something like that.
Holy crap.
yeah, yeah,
That complicates things a lot.
yeah. It's like here, that here in the US, it's a lot easier just to go
It's all
to
about
the
money.
carrier. Yeah, just to go to the
It's
carrier
about
and
the
get
money.
your phone there, rather than buying it unlocked. The only phone that you can comfortably buy unlocked is an iPhone.
An iPhone.
Or a
Right,
burner
pero
phone.
if you get an iPhone from, let's say, an Apple store,
Yeah.
or sorry, an Apple website, when you're
Mhm.
buying an iPhone there, it's still going to ask you which
Yeah,
carrier you have or which carrier you're going with, so they can
Yep.
give you the correct type of iPhone
Yeah,
that'll
but-
work for that.
They have different like hardware versions too, depending on which carrier it is.
Yeah, I think the newer iPhones now don't, like they have one unless I'm mistaken. They have just like one model that because with the eSIM now, right? Like they can set that eSIM to whoever carrier you can choose. So I'm not. I think that's how it works with the newer ones, but I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
I'm not entirely sure about that either.
You
But
learn
yeah,
a lot of stuff every day.
but it sucks. Yeah, but it sucks, and and because of the thing they got with the Chinese government, like
Yeah,
you
Huawei.
you suddenly got, yeah, you suddenly got, not even with Huawei, like all the Chinese brands here are
It's
not
gone?
available.
Wow.
They weren't available to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you suddenly realize how big the market, like how much more choices you have there in Manila, like in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
the
Yep.
market
In
became
the
really
Philippines,
small.
you have tons of choice. Like you got Vivo, Oppo, um,
It kind of brings
Xiaomi.
me
Like
to the
Cherry.
story
Wow.
about the one of the executives in AIG. When I was still working there. There was actually a thing when they were saying it should be sent to Manila. The project should be sent to Manila. It's like, do they have computers there? My God.
Like, really?
Maybe they
Yeah.
were thinking more of India. I'm tech support.
Wow.
But the
Yep.
heck. Here's the funny part. If the Philippines is actually a very, what do you call this? Struggling country, we've got bigger malls than the US.
Actually, I don't. I think it's a bit incorrect to call us struggling now. It's like
Yeah,
we're a, the Philippines is a developing country, and
developing. Until now.
For how many years now?
For how many years?
I know, right?
yeah, but what I'm saying is that I think we should like sort of set aside the idea that we're a poor country.
Struggling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The only
that
people that's
emotional-
actually telling us that we're a poor country is the media.
That's it's like the Philippines is like that emoto that's always developing but never actually gets the big boobs, you know?
Flat chest. Justice.
Yeah. Kaya de. Kaya de. Kaya de.
Developing palagi pero hindi na
No,
hindi na napunta doon.
yeah. It's more like the rom-coms where like Nisekoi, where it goes for like 200 chapters where they're still developing but never blooms into full-blown romance.
It's like Archie,
Forever.
where they're stuck in high school for 50 years.
Or Peter Parker who never grows old, always a teenager.
Well, he did
They
grow
did
old
grow old.
because
Depending on the multiverse.
Well, yeah.
So into the
depends.
Spider-Verse, we have a middle-aged Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but,
Spider
for
Verse,
the
there's
longest
also
time, he was like,
a Spider Man
teenager.
who's Uncle Ben, who became Spider Man.
Well, the if you're talking about the comics,
Yeah, it's a comics. Yeah, I'm talking about. Comics.
I mean, is Cal talking about the comics where Peter Parker
Yep,
was
he's
young?
been like a teenager for like how many years?
He was the first few issues of Spider-Man were in real time,
Mhm.
so he actually graduated from high school a bit fast. but then-
Unlike Archie.
so he actually finished high school, but then he went into college, and then that's where they started the floating timelines.
Yeah.
But he did eventually get out of college because he became rich when he was
Had his own company.
Yeah,
When he was Doc
Thank
Ock.
you to Doc
yeah,
Ock.
when he was Doc. Thanks, Doc Ock. Yeah, he became a doctor. He got his own company. He became rich.
Yeah, that's why I like Spear Spider-Man better than.
Yeah,
freaking
but
Lucy
he
Spider-Man.
was not the superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's a matter of opinion.
He couldn't beat Green Goblin.
That's just plot armor.
MacGuffin.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm much better than the original Spider-Man, but yeah, I can't beat one of his lamest villains.
Oh, what do you mean
Some
lamest
dude,
villains? Like the villain, the Spider-Man villain.
The main
dude,
one.
the Spider-Man villain is Venom. I don't know what you're talking about.
No! Hell
No,
no!
no, no,
Nope.
no, no, no,
It is
no.
for me. It's Venom.
New, 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 new.
Yeah, we're old school.
Well,
New, 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 new,
and
new,
that's
new.
why you guys like Spider-Man and I don't.
Yeah, and we're Marvel fans. I don't think you
Yeah.
are.
I mean,
No, I'm not a
but
Marvel fan.
Yeah,
I'm a
you
DC.
exactly.
but you probably know more about Venom than the writers of the Venom movie, at least.
Well, I don't like Venom. I don't like. I don't know. I don't like Venom. I like the Todd McFarlane Venom.
Well, Todd McFarlane did create Venom.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That
saying. But now he's not. He's like Agent of Shield. He was in the Thunderbolts.
Ah, no, that's the
Flash.
Flash Thompson
well,
Venom.
Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
Flash
that's what I'm
Thompson.
saying. And there's a lot. There's Venomverse. There's you know
Yeah, Venomverse still has Eddie Brock Venom, so
yeah, but I liked it
When he
the
was like,
original Venom. The original Venom.
when he was surf the web, surf the web.
sorry,
the
Parker.
web. My bad.
No, our bad. Sorry, our
No,
bad. Our bad.
because they were so desperate to make him into a good guy, they changed that.
Well, Deadpool was a bad guy. They successfully turned him into a good guy. For
Well,
I don't know if you can still
Not
say
technically a good guy.
Yeah.
Not technically.
he's more like chaotic, neutral.
Neutral.
Deadpool.
yeah,
Yeah.
chaotic,
he's-
chaotic indeed.
Yeah, I mean,
Venom is
like
Venom is more chaotic good. Like
Mm.
he's more of a good guy than Deadpool.
yeah, Deadpool's killed children. He's
Unless you're talking about Ultimate Venom, because Ultimate Venom kills children. He eats the heck out
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, he just mentioned it.
No, I think he mentioned Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I'm mentioning Venom from the Ultimate Universe, so yeah.
well, the Ultimate Universe sucks.
Yeah, in some way.
No, it doesn't suck in some way. It just sucks.
No, Miles Morales came from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah,
Without
and then
that,
everybody died.
yeah. Without
Well-
that, there's no Miles Morales. Then the Ultimate Universe
Yeah.
fused with the actual universe.
Without the Ultimate Universe, we wouldn't have the cinematic universe. So.
In a way, yeah.
Well, I mean, like I do like Miles Morales. He is my favorite Spider-Man, but I still don't like him more than Venom or Carnage.
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 Ah,
Or
speaking of
Superior Spider-Man.
Carnage.
speaking of
Carnage
that, that Venom movie, it actually sucked.
Well, I do have to give them credit
Hmm.
for some parts of Venom movie, like how it's set in San Francisco instead of New York, because San Francisco is where Venom went after he left New York in the comics.
Yeah.
Like when he became a good guy,
So-called
like,
good
like
guy.
the lethal when he became the lethal protector, he moved to San Francisco, and I was surprised. Like, oh, okay, they got that right.
At least.
And, yeah.
That's a good book. Lethal Protector is a really good book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the reason there are 4 people here. Personal opinions differ. Not all will agree.
but yeah, but otherwise, Venom is like I don't know. The Venom the movie. I mean, Venom the movie feels like 90s superhero movie. It's like you know the movies they used to show in the 90s where all the superhero movies were kind of standalone,
Mhm.
kind of doing their own thing, like and changing a lot about who the character was and how it's not like they it's not even close to being faithful, but they just do it because Hollywood. So
Yeah.
that's how Venom is.
Anyway, speaking of movies, who saw Shazam?
I will later.
No, I will this weekend.
Me too. Tomorrow, I'll be watching Shazam.
Later. So,
Laters.
oh, so we get to compare two Captain Marvel movies.
Yeah, we compare Captain Marvel with Captain Marvel. Who's the better Captain Marvel?
Uh,
It's like one of those
secretly,
kindergarten things. Who's better?
I just from the first impressions I get from the trailer, I think I'll enjoy Shazam
Shazam.
more than Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah, looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, which is kind of weird to me because I was not expecting that. But then, I also have I also have more exposure to Captain Marvel as Shazam rather than Captain Marvel as Carol Danvers.
Yeah. Although Carol Danvers just became Captain Marvel as of recently.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah, like it's like you're comparing to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like
Yeah,
the Guardians of the Galaxy that we have now are not the same Guardians of the Galaxy that
exactly.
we had back in the 90s
Yep.
or the 70s, 80s, 90s. So
And the Guardians of the Galaxy we have now in the comics actually also include Iron Man. So surprise. Although he's
Iron
not,
Man.
he's no longer in the
I don't
Guardians.
think
from,
I don't think he's there now.
Agent Venom.
Yeah, Venom also became Guardians.
Guardian,
Um,
yep.
One part of the
Agent Venom.
Guardians. Same with Angela
He
from Spawn. She also became part of the
Agent.
Guardians.
And that time when he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy was, I think, the time when they suddenly retconned the spider symbol on Venom, such that oh, this symbol is not actually an homage or a memory from Spider-Man when he was still bonded to the symbiote. It's because this symbol is the insignia of the race of the symbiotes, or some kind of crazy thing like that.
Which also happens to be a spider.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say it was a good development. I'm just saying, matter of fact, that it happened.
Yeah. What happens happens. It's just like achievements. It happens.
Well, at least they at least they still have the spider on him in the comics, like not like in the movie. Where,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's like, meh.
Yeah. And they really forced that Carnage reveal. That Carnage reveal was kind of, I don't know, cringy. By the way, Cal, you wanted to talk about Us?
Oy, ano meron sa inyong dalawa?
Not that kind of
Secret.
Us. The Us
Secret.
movie. Is it any good?
I don't know if you guys wanted to. I mean, I thought it was good. It was well made. But the story was just okay for me. It's like if you've seen the first movie Jordan Peele did, which
Get
is
Out?
Get Out. Get Out was a lot better.
Yeah, we could have segued into
and-
this from the Twilight Zone.
No.
Yeah, and
Discussion.
well, and do you like how tolerant are you of plot holes?
Not very.
Yeah, so don't watch it. they leave a lot. Like they're so. I mean, I don't know if I want to talk about it because it'll spoil a lot. But there's so much stuff that what do you call this? Alam mo yung they always say if you're watching a movie, you have to have a certain level of
State of
Expectation.
mind, something like that.
no, something I forgot what it's called. but
Suspension of
some-
disbelief.
suspension of disbelief. There you go. You have to
there.
have a certain, yung it was tested.
Yeah.
My suspension of disbelief was, tested and tested and tested until, like, there's like scenes where it's like doesn't make any sense at all. Kumbaga parang parang Yossi na bigla nang naubos. It chips at you until I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I don't have to accept this. Just because it's from Jordan Peele, who had one good movie, doesn't mean I have to accept it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like aside from that, it was really well made. Cinematography, I thought was great. I saw well, I didn't saw I was listening to a podcast where he was being interviewed and stuff uh like yung shots, how they were prepping for it and how it was hard, because it was basically four actors with eight characters, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to make it seem natural, and they did a really good job with that. Yung seamless yung kung pagpapalit ng actors, because they're basically, I don't know, that's why it's called us, because yung main antagonist is the same people, the main protagonist.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So yeah, they did a good job. How they shot the film, like I said, cinematography I thought was pretty good. Yung vibe niya parang old slasher films, and then it transitions from that to parang a mystery, and then it turned into a M. Night Shyamalan film, which I did.
Okay.
But like I said, I mean, I recommend watching it, but like I said, just don't expect everything to be explained well,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of, I mean, you can nitpick at it all day, and you're not gonna get anywhere, because it's just there's so many holes, you know. But if you can just watch it and just appreciate it,
Yeah, just
as a
basically
well-made movie.
appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah,
Basically,
if
don't
you can
think too hard.
appreciate, yeah, don't think too hard. Just watch, enjoy, and
Oh, that's hard.
yeah, no, exactly. Especially since yung mood na sinet niya with Get Out, that film was so good. It had so many layers, and a lot of it made sense. You know,
I think I
ito,
can tolerate that because I've been watching Manila Film
Film
Festival
festival.
horror movies every year.
yeah.
It's kind
Well,
of
I don't
like a
know. Have you seen?
tradition for me and Keith. So basically, we're just laughing the hell out of those movies. So,
Have you seen the original Shake, Rattle, and Roll?
oh yes, I've seen it in a movie house. We
Yeah,
paid good money
that
for
is
that.
much better.
I used to watch a lot of Filipino movies back then.
Oh, Chanak, diba? Chanak.
Yeah, I've seen
Right.
that.
Babae
Yeah,
sa
that
banga.
Halimaw sa Banga. Yeah,
Halimaw sa
those
Banga.
are
Yeah,
those.
I've seen
I'm sorry,
those.
but those are better. I don't know if they aged that well, but
Actually, they did. The fact here is the CGI right now is totally bullshit. If that's how I could explain it. The movies back then were created with more passion compared to today.
Yeah,
So
because they
yeah.
because they
Less
had more
special
practical
effects.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah, the
that's what I'm
practical
saying.
effects actually help compared to the CGI today.
Yeah, but that I thought that those were scarier movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
like
this,
yung mga yung magandang gabi bayan episodes
Oh
from
yeah, yeah. They
That's a
were
Shit.
Oh.
better way back then.
Oh yeah, those.
well, yeah. So basically, I'm saying this. There's some much better movies there. If you're like pressed for time,
Oh yeah.
go watch Shazam. Or I mean, I can't recommend this. And like I say, if you're a horror fan film, I can't recommend.
You'd recommend it's a rental?
Yeah, it would be probably a wait for a DVD for me, to
Yeah.
Yeah,
rent at
rental.
Redbox,
Ding.
or wait till you can watch it at your Kodi. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'll just wait for the
Flex.
home video release for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to poison the well, Of course, maybe you like it, but I'm just for me, I just didn't think that.
Yeah,
it was
right
great.
now I don't have the time to watch a lot of movies because I'm working at home right now. So I think I'll just go with Shazam.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't even seen Shazam, but the trailer is just
Yeah, it
much
looks
better.
a fun
You know,
movie.
it's one of those things too where this is why I don't like watching trailers. Like the trailers really spoiled like really good moments to the movie that I could have gone without.
Yeah, that's the part I like about Marvel. They're putting a lot of bullshit in their trailers.
Or fake trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you're not going to expect anything
But I
much
still
from
don't
the
watch it
main
though.
movie.
I
Yeah.
still don't watch it. I stopped watching it.
And I've got tickets for Endgame already, so yeah.
Or you can just listen to interviews of Tom Holland
Yeah.
and you'll find out what's going on.
Si boy spoiler eh.
Ah, my God. Tom Holland.
Poor guy.
The spoiler
Well,
for you.
that's the reason why he got the role of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a blabbermouth, so yeah.
But
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
He suits the
turning
role,
into
man.
Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Best
he's a pretty
Peter
good
Parker.
Spider-Man, that guy.
He's the best. I would say he's the best Spider-Man.
And here's
Oh,
the
I
thing.
agree.
Kevin Smith said he actually had a Queen's accent, so that's very authentic. If that's actually
Oh
true.
yeah. He did mention that uh, that Tom Holland really tried to get a correct accent, Peter Parker.
Yeah,
That's
which
the
is good.
best Spider-Man.
Which
But
I
not
think is
all
something
people will
that,
agree.
yeah, it's something that most people won't notice, but the fact that he tried to capture it, it's like, yeah, that was
Here's the funny part. If he joins the Avengers, will he lose the accent?
really what?
Will he
Will
lose
what?
the accent? Because look at the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch had a very heavy
Right.
accent. Then
Yes.
when she joined the Avengers, it's gone. And then there's another
Maybe
one.
that's no, that's I don't know what the correct Americanization or something because she's lived in the U.S. after that.
That quickly.
No,
She's
just
also a master of disguise and espionage.
She-
can
she
probably
said-
just drop it.
no more accents.
Magic. She's got
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch, magic. No more
Magic.
accent.
No more accent. Oh, I'm American. American.
Virgin.
Or maybe she just bended reality or changed reality so that everyone doesn't recognize her accent.
No, no. What if that was the twist in Avengers Endgame? That when Scarlet Witch lost her accent, that's when like we were
Oh,
all.
it changed.
It was an
all-
entire illusion.
that was the yeah. It was we were all they were all sent to this alternate world by Doctor Strange or something, and that's where the end game starts.
Yeah. Then when they awaken from the endgame illusion, the X-Men are there. Yeah.
Fantastic Four first.
Fantastic Four.
we gotta
Fantastic.
We gotta give Fantastic Four justice first.
Yeah. Although the first two Fantastic Four movies were actually okay. I liked it.
Yeah, they were okay.
Well, Jessica Alba.
Yeah. Jessica Alba.
Yeah, they were okay. It's like
And Steve Rogers.
yeah, Steve Rogers as Human Torch.
Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, anyone else want to add another topic? Because we're gonna end this now.
No,
Okay.
I think we've run a good length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining us, and that's actually the
Shout out
end.
muna.
So yeah, usual shout
Shout
outs. You guys got shout outs before we end it?
Yeah, thanks to Walmart for my dinner. Thanks, old Walmart. I see you across the street. Well, across my yard.
Oh, Walmart's coming to the Philippines, diba?
What?
It is?
Why?
Yeah.
How can they compete against SM? And this SM
Oh, I
is
don't know.
Well,
And this
Pero
SM
may
is their
news,
part.
they're gonna kind of like diba IKEA meron na sa Philippines.
Yep,
I
yep,
think
yep.
Walmart is trying to get into that market.
Yeah. We're
Walmart.
very lucrative.
Unless
but,
SM
uh,
actually got the rights to Walmart products and stuff.
Yep. Shout out to Walmart for giving me for hosting my dinner tonight, which is microwave pizza. Because
Oh
it's the only
yeah. Speaking
vegetarian
of
thing.
food, thank you, Kuya Jay, for bringing Pop Ice back to the Philippines.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
That was the
Also-
best move they did.
Also, thank you to GameStop because I finally found a copy of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions for, for a fairly reasonable price, and a copy of Blur.
Blur.
That
Well, they're
doesn't work.
closing, so
Yeah,
might
A
as
copy of
well
Blur
sell
that-
their crap.
a copy of Blur that doesn't work. So thanks for nothing. and and I can't exchange it because I bought it in Seattle and I'm like 1,000 miles away. So thanks for that, GameStop. Thanks for Spider-Man.
Well, I want to thank GameStop for a chance to exchange my broken Elite controller for a new one.
They did it? Did they exchange
no,
it?
no, they're not gonna exchange. I'm gonna trade it in,
It's a chance.
and
Do you have a Microsoft store
it's
in your
fairly. No,
Oh, oh well.
I don't think
Shit
so.
out of luck,
Wait.
man.
Wait, really? I can go to Microsoft. I will drive to a Microsoft store
They swapped mine out.
for
It's not
free.
your fault. Yeah, for free.
Well, it is kind of my fault.
Well, then you're shit out of luck.
Pero thanks for that. I'm still gonna try.
Mhm.
No, this is the first time GameStop
try.
quoted me a price that's higher than $10 for.
Well, they're gonna go out of business, so might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Rest in,
Oh, true.
rest in
Make it
peace.
rain. Make it rain.
Rest in peace.
And yeah, $10. That's like a few more dollars to another new controller. So yeah, it's kind of like a discount. More than $10 actually.
Yeah.
As you've said.
Oh, shout out to PDP for making this cheap $25 Xbox One controller that I'm currently using now, even though I have a Razer controller, because this $25 controller, even when it breaks, I won't care.
By the way,
Thank you for
PDP is
making
also the one that actually made the Switch controller with a headphone jack.
Yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But they also make these cheap controllers. So,
Cheap ass controllers.
yeah, $25. So, thank you, thank you for making a controller that I'm not afraid to break.
You can go hardcore on it
Yeah.
all the time.
So it's currently being put through its paces with Sekiro and Crackdown. So
Speaking of Sekiro, I've never touched it ever since. I'm still lost.
Yeah, restart the game.
either that, or I'm immersing myself in an area that I should have left for a long time. I shouldn't stay there.
did you go past the snake
Yeah.
and then? Oh yeah, it also branches again at that point.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, by the way, speaking of, have you watched Smooth's YouTube channel? He actually had a $1,000 challenge to finish Sekiro in 48 hours. And my God, is he pissed
Somebody-
off? He's really pissed
Somebody-
off.
Who's pissed off? What?
He's supposed to finish Sekiro in 48 hours to win
Who is?
$1,000. Smooth, SMOOV.
Hindi ko kilala yun.
Yeah. To the point
Wait,
that
no,
he's
gonna
already
pay
crying.
someone.
Hmm?
He's gonna pay someone
No, no.
$1,000 if they finish,
No.
or
Someone will pay him $1,000. So he was streaming it, and yeah, he's having a very hard time, and it's bawling out. It's very entertaining. He'll probably get $1,000 out of the donations instead of getting the prize.
Sekiro's not that hard, man. Fight me. Fight me.
Street Fighter.
You want you think Sekiro is hard? You haven't lived through Battletoads. Two-player
Right.
Battletoads.
My God,
You
that's
think-
hard.
You gamers nowadays, you modern gamers. Sheesh.
I've never
You don't know
even
what we've
gone
been
past
through.
that motorcycle stage.
Oh, I think I had to work. I think Battletoads. I think that stage 3 of Battletoads is the reason why I'm wearing glasses now. Like I overused my Sharingan.
8-bit
Or everyone's
magic.
complaining about water levels. They never played the water level in Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Yeah.
First one, my God, that's hard.
Yeah.
The instant
Yeah.
death electric stuff.
The electric algae.
The electric seaweed.
Like seaweed. How
Electric
can seaweed
nori.
be electric? And then the bombs, like you're and then you're on a timer because you have to disarm the bombs.
I
No,
hate
that was a horrible game. That was a horrible game.
Wait, disarm the bomb. I thought they drowned, which is weird. For the...
exactly. Games
man.
back then. Fantastic.
But I still
Anyway, I
think
think Cal has a special shout out.
Ayun na naman eh.
As usual.
No, I want to thank Five Guys, Burgers and Fries for my dinner, and Warframe and Nintendo Switch for keeping me entertained throughout the whole podcast. And
And
Ashley, I'm begging you, please come on our podcast. Thank you so much.
And cosplay as 2D. Okay, I guess that's it. So thank you guys. Till next time. I
Yep.
guess we'll be
Shazam.
discussing
next
Shazam,
time.
yeah.
yeah.
And if anyone else
We should do like a spoiler cast of Promised Neverland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why
yeah,
not?
we
Why
should.
not?
Once everyone's caught up.
Yeah.
Yep, spoiler cast.
Probably next week would be fine. I think everyone would
Yeah,
have caught up by
as long
that
as-
time.
Yeah, as long as everyone's caught up.
Yeah.
All right, cool,
we should get caught up by this week. Yep.
cool.
Okay, so thank you and goodbye.
DJ Khaled.